Melanie, your first cigar experience?
It was at Nat Sherman's. Like I said, I loved it from the very beginning, and then it became a weekly thing, then go twice a week, and then to a Ven. It never stopped. Brand owners gone through the process, curating just the right blend, and they put it out, and it's a fantastic stick, but they didn't secure enough tobacco. So then when it was time to re-up,
goes downhill.
It's not the same.
When you make your own cigar, it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because your idea has come to fruition. The curse is you never want to smoke anything else. Now, I obviously know the Blueprint's like one of your favorite cigars.
It really is.
I get it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Burn Down Podcast. In the studio today, she has been smoking cigars for 25 years.
Damn.
She's a brand ambassador for Get Your Cigars, a website that holds the blueprint and diligent. This is Melanie, a.k.a. Maduro Meli. What's going on?
Hey, fellas.
Welcome to the Burn Down.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
It's finally we're. I know we've been. It's been like almost a year we've been talking to get the ball rolling here.
Timing is everything, right?
It definitely is. Timing is absolutely everything. Right place, right time. So we got Mel. She already came equipped. We didn't equip her with a blueprint.
I like it.
Her excuse was,
equipped.
I have access to the blueprint. So
I kind of have a plug.
Yeah. Shout out to Sunrise Cigars.
I was going to say, so how does she have access, you might ask?
Yeah.
Sunrise Cigars. Shout out to CK at Sunrise Cigars. Shout out to Melanie. We're there. We're in there like swimwear.
Yeah.
Okay. And also,
does Get Your Cigars ship to Canada?
No.
I was going to say, also, shout out to Get Your Cigars, because
Yeah.
that's how she's got an access to. Yeah. Who's cutting who off now, all right?
I've only learned from the best.
Who's interrupting who now?
I only learned from the best. But, no, someone actually DM'd me because they asked us, hey, because Flying Cigars is another partner of ours, and they just started shipping to Canada. But as you know, Canada has like all the freaking taxes and border fees and whatnot. And there's another website he told me, Chief Cigars. Does that sound familiar? Or Chief Cigar? And he says that...
I heard Neptune ships there. Doesn't Neptune ship to Canada now?
No, they ship. But I don't know if Neptune's... you have to pay like a certain fee. But he was saying Cheap Cigars, you don't... Like they avoid the fee somehow. But anyway, I was asking. So he said he's going to place an order from Get Your Cigars or figure it out how to do it.
Yeah, he should do that.
So I gave him the website.
Good thing.
Get Your Cigars. We're on there. And I will say, they also have a sampler pack. I think they're the only ones that have a sampler pack for the Blueprint and the Diligent. Most places that have our cigars, you can buy one or the other. But they've put together a sampler pack where you can get 2 and 2, and I think it's $40. Is it?
$49.99, so just under $50.
So so you can try them both. So it's great. So
that's CK's mastermind at work, right? So his passion has always been boutique sticks and wants to make it accessible to everyone. So sampler packs usually do really well. It's a good way to try it, and then
well, it's good because
definitely.
Now we have, and we're gonna have obviously more. We're gonna have a third one for sure, and then we'll size up and size down. But
we want to thank you, Melanie, for all the support.
Yes,
you take great pictures of cigars.
Thanks.
And I know you have an extensive background with cigars. Like I said, you've been smoking for 25 years. So just want to hear about your story, your journey into cigars. Who is Melanie? What was Melanie like in high school?
Because I don't know if
to
be honest, I don't know if I've ever met a woman who's said 25 years smoking. Yeah, most of the time you meet like guys, older gentlemen will say, yeah, I've been smoking for 30, 40, 50 years, whatever. Most of the women that we have on here, relatively newer cigar smokers. I think maybe Ibis we had has been smoking for quite a while. But most of them are less.
Talking about COVID, that was a long time ago we had
but less than like 10 years. But you're 25 years. Like you're a seasoned vet when it comes to cigar smoking. So
I am. It's been a while. So I had a friend who introduced me to sticks, and this is 90s, right?
Wow.
And that's when Nat Sherman's was amazing. It was heaven. So
the Nat Sherman Townhouse.
Listen,
may
worked
rest in
on
peace.
3rd Avenue and like 44th, I think it was. So we would walk over to Nat Sherman's on our lunch break and smoke, and then that was kind of the beginning of my love affair with sticks.
Really?
Yeah.
Was this with men too, as well? So
there weren't many women, as you know.
I was gonna say back in the
Wasn't many.
'90s, it was like.
So what prompted them to
Virtually none.
invite you to Nat Sherman?
I have a lot of strong opinions.
Okay. I like it.
I have a little bit of something to say about everything.
Okay.
So conversations that started in the office, and then like when there were office functions or whatever, like we'd chit chat and we just gelled really well. And hey, you know, did you smoke? No. Would you be interested in smoking? Sure. And that was really the onset of it. And like I said, I can kind of hold my own in a conversation. So
yeah.
How was it back in the '90s? Like during, because like we said, there's not many. I imagine that there's virtually zero women in the cigar lounge. Were you like the only one in there?
I was the only one. Actually, I think back then I went under the radar a little bit more because it was like, oh, a chick, and then they just went back. Now that there's more women that go into lounges and are smoking a little bit more, I would say now I get a little bit more of the stares and like, oh, what you doing here or whatever, and you know.
It's not weird how people do. It's like
all the time.
That's weird. Like why? Who cares?
Yeah.
All the time.
I'm surprised. I would think it'd be the opposite.
I thought it'd be the opposite.
Back in the day, it was
No.
like that. Today they're like, oh, a girl smoking a cigar. Okay.
No, it was like because I was the only one and I was with someone, I think it was just ignored, or I'd be with a group of people and it was just like whatever, the one person.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what were you smoking back then? What were some of your favorite cigars?
Jeez.
They didn't.
I don't
they didn't
even
serve food
remember.
because you went on your lunch break.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
do you remember
No.
your first cigar ever?
No, not at all.
No.
I want to say it was probably a Mac, I think.
Macanudo. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a pretty standard first cigar.
Yeah.
That was one of my first cigars too.
I'm thinking that's what it was. I
Okay.
think I remember smoking a few of those back there. I'm going to assume that was my first. I couldn't tell you what my
Now,
first was.
did you enjoy it the first time you did it, or was
Absolutely.
it brutal?
No.
Because we've heard some horror stories where people said,
No.
the first time I had it, I inhaled, it sucked, I hated it.
No, not my
You
experience.
loved it,
Yeah,
okay.
From the very beginning.
See, that was
First
me too.
straw.
First time I ever had, real cigar I ever had was a Romeo and Juliet 1875. That was like the first actual premium cigar. I'd smoked backwoods, and I'd smoked the Swisher Sweets and all that, you know. But like the first actual cigar was that. And I remember I loved it. It was great. I loved them. I didn't inhale, didn't like just
Yeah.
kind of picked it up. But I've heard some people got sick.
Yeah,
We had a
no.
guest on here that said the first one they had was a Cuban, and his dad didn't tell him how to do it, so he started inhaling it and got sick as a dog. And the dad was like, "That's what you don't do." So now here's. Let me tell you what you should.
Well, Lito, Tony Gomez of LFD Cigars we had on here, and he told them that his first cigar experience with his dad, Lito, he said, all right, this is how you smoke a cigar. You take the cigar, you inhale as much as you can. You inhale as much as you can. And he did, and he got sick and threw up and all this stuff. And they said, all right, well, that's how you don't smoke a cigar.
Jeez,
And that was
Louise.
and he's like,
He did it
thanks,
on
Dad.
purpose.
Thanks a lot.
You got it.
Crazy. So do you remember your the experience with smoking a cigar for the first time? Like, what was the feeling like, or what were you thinking in there?
So, I was a cigarette smoker, but not a cigarette smoker.
Okay.
So it was like social drinking because you can smoke at the bars back in the day in
Yeah.
the city.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
we'd go to drink, and then I'd have
You smoke when you drank.
yeah,
A social
basically,
cigarette. Yeah,
You
you
know,
smoke when you got drunk.
a little bit. You know.
I had friends. Yo, you got a cigarette? No, you don't smoke
Yeah,
cigarettes.
no,
I'm drunk though. I want a
you
cigarette.
got-
now.
drinking.
Let me get a bowl. Yo,
I'm
you got a
drinking.
bogey? Yo, can I bum a smoke? Can I bum a smoke? Yeah. I feel like they just wanted to say, "Can I bum a bogue?"
I would bum a cigarette, not to smoke it, just to throw it in my ear. Just be like, yo, I got a freaking cigarette in my ear. And people are
You know
like,
what they
are you
used to?
doing?
Remember the Al Capones?
Yeah.
They were like cigars, but they were cigarettes.
Yeah.
They were like cigarellos.
Yeah.
You used to smoke those. You think you're smoking a cigarette, but it's this tiny little.
What was the
shit
other
cigar.
one? Clove. You remember ever heard cloves?
Yes.
Oh my! I used to smoke cloves all the time.
That's not a good thing.
No, we were always 20, 19 years old, and yeah, we thought it was cool. Obviously,
Yeah.
I remember
not
the
so
frickin'
much.
dude. It's funny you say because, in high school and in college and stuff, you go to the gas station, you get Swisher Sweets, and you think you're cool as shit. You get like the wine, the wine tip, the wine flavor,
Cherry
wood
wine, baby.
tip,
Oh my
right?
gosh.
wine, black and
And you're,
mild.
and you're smoking these, right?
Hell yeah!
We did an episode once where we said, let's do it. Let's get gas station cigars and smoke them. So we
Oh, yeah.
went and we bought like we bought
Oh,
White Owls, we bought
Jesus.
Backwoods, we bought the
We
Backwoods.
should do that. We should do that again.
The Backwoods actually weren't that bad. I think the Backwood might have been like the closest thing to because it was flavored tobacco, just like hand rolled into like a blunt, really. But everything else was just. It was. I don't even know how I smoked. They were disgusting. You remember that?
Yeah, of course.
It was disgusting. These things we were smoking.
No bueno. No bueno.
It was nasty.
We've grown from there.
Yeah, we matured. We matured.
I don't think we could. I couldn't even get through it. We tried to smoke the White Owls. Couldn't even do it. I was
Yeah.
like, our Dutch masters. I couldn't do it.
It was a long time ago. It was before we had any of this stuff in here. It was definitely when we had like 2 lounge chairs in here. So, anyway, we digress. Melanie, you were saying your first cigar experience. I'm sorry.
So it was at Nat Sherman's. Like I said, I loved it from the very beginning, and then it became a weekly thing. Then go twice a week, and then to events and all of that jazz, and then it never stopped. It never.
Now,
stopped.
how often do you say you smoke? Are you smoking every day?
No, I don't smoke every day.
Once or twice a week?
I smoke probably 2-3 times a week. But what I find is if I go like, I don't know, 2-3 days without smoking, I tend to smoke more the next day that I smoke. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I'll do 2 sticks a day. I might do 3 or 4 on a day where it's been like a stretch where I haven't smoked.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Load up.
Yeah.
Load up on that nicotine fix.
So she does like a little fast and then
I guess,
bang.
yeah.
Yeah, bang, bang. So you're one of the guys.
Mostly.
Right? You're one of the guys going in that Sherman. Now, did you eat lunch on your lunch break or you just smoked the cigars?
Mm-hmm. You eat at your desk.
Okay. No, I mean, that's a good point.
You don't waste your lunchtime
No, you
on
eat
lunch.
You go to socialize.
I'm
You just
saying.
pound a sandwich and then go have a stogie. That's what you do.
I mean, that's a good use of your time.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Hell yeah.
So you're in the middle of your workday and a little stressed. You're like, fuck it. I don't eat this ham sandwich. I'm going to go smoke a Nat Sherman cigar.
Basically.
Yeah. So how long were you in the city for doing that?
I was in the city for about 10 years. I worked in the city for 10 years.
Okay.
And then did mom stuff, got married and
mom
babies.
stuff.
And then I was home and I was a stay-at-home mom. And there's a lot less smoking when you have when you have a baby stuck to you all the time.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3 girls.
Three
girls.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. That's like my...
How old?
So 28, 19, and 16.
28, 19, and 16.
Yes.
Oh, so that's 16-year-olds probably giving you...
She's the easiest one.
Is she?
She's the easiest one.
Oh, is she
Because
dating anybody yet?
She's not yet. See, she's seen
That's
her
that's what I
sisters
mean
do
is
through the shit.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
she's like,
Yeah, they start
I'm
bringing the
not gonna
boys
do that.
home. Oh boy.
Being a 16-year-old today is way different than when we were 16 years old.
absolutely.
When I was 16, I was getting drunk at the bowling alley.
Yeah.
In the playground, hanging on a swing, just stealing my mom's beer, my dad's beer from the from the fridge in the garage.
It's
walking out I'll be right. I'm going to my friend's house. You have a backpack, clink, 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 clink. All the bottles.
classic. That's classic.
I
Yeah.
grew up in the city, so when I was a teenager, I grew up in Queens. So when I was a teenager, we would go like hang out at like the botanical gardens.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like the Queens Botanical Gardens, they have like this big slope, and that's where like all the kids went to like drink shit that we had no business
Oh
drinking.
yeah.
Sure.
I remember we used
Sure.
to have like water bottles. So where my bed was, right, I had
I can think about it now.
yeah, you know exactly where I'm going, right? So my bed, I had like a headboard, but my stepfather had built me this headboard, so I had like cubbies where I could put like, you know, your clock and also your phone or whatever. I didn't have a phone, but clock and everything else. And it was kind of hollow in the back because he just made it as pieces of wood. It was kind of hollow in the back. So I had water bottles that were filled with different types of liquor. So like if you would go, I've had a water bottle. Like parents were going to take a water bottle and I put like a little bit of vodka in one of them, and I would hide it behind. I would pull the headboard out and put it in the hollow spot and put the headboard back against the wall. And I just had I had a bottle of schnapps back there. I didn't even know what the fuck it was, but I was like, it's liquor. Put it in a bottle.
Yeah,
or we go to a
course.
party or whatever. We go to a friend's house. So I have all these bottles, like my own little liquor cabinet back there. And you're like, I don't even know what was in it. So like, we're going out tonight. You grab the Gatorade
Mystery
bottle. Yeah, it smells
Yeah,
like
mystery bottles, right? Ugh.
just like whatever.
Hell no. I hate it.
Yeah, man.
Vodka
what
in
you
the water
did.
bottle. Ugh.
That's what you
I think
did.
that's
That
why
was like the trips to Great Adventure back in the days.
Oh yeah.
You'd grab a bottle of mystery whatever and then mix it with mystery soda,
Yeah.
drink whatever, and
We used to
Right.
do.
Roller
the
coasters.
crazy shit you used to do as a kid with just no fear, just
none
mixing
of
it
the
with.
things I'd want my children to do.
I
Of
know.
course not.
I
None of
know.
the
It's
things.
so.
Of course, because
And
we
you
know
know
way
what's-
too
yeah.
much now.
And you know what's funny too is like as a kid, you're always like, oh my, like you think that your parents don't like they won't find out. They Oh, like I remember telling my mom once, said, "Oh yeah, my buddy Brian and I, like, remember we went over, we had a sleepover at his house, and we snuck out in the middle of the night. We just walked to like Dunkin' Donuts for fucking no reason because like we didn't know what to do. Like 15, like so we just walked, and I was like, I bet you never. She's like, no, I knew. And like all these years, I'm like, she's never gonna know. They'll never. She's like, oh, I knew, 100%. She's like, I knew that you had. I told her about the bottle. She's like, yeah, I knew you had those behind you. Like they always fucking know everything. You think they know? But we used to do the in college. You get like a Gatorade bottle, like a vitamin water, and you drink it down to the label, and you fill it back up with whatever liquor, and then you shake it, take it on the.
Dangerous, dude. Dangerous.
Anyway.
I
got stories for days, man. Okay.
We know.
That was just on the other day.
What a boy. Good. Well, we got Melly, all right? We don't want to hear your stories. We got enough of your stories.
I know.
We want to hear the stories of Melly.
Okay. I know.
So speaking of stories with Melanie, you grew up in Queens, right? So you grew up high school in Queens?
Yes.
So Queens girl in high school, who were you? What were you like?
Oh, jeez.
This is before the cigars.
This is before the cigars.
Did you still have your strong opinions?
Always.
Okay, I like
like
that.
from the very beginning.
I like where this is going.
So my mom, I'm the oldest of 4 in my household. My mom was pretty sick growing up. She's since passed. She passed of cancer. But during that time, it was like on again, off again. So I was kind of like mama bear to my kids, which is probably why I'm so opinionated. It's always like, I'm always running shit.
Sure.
Like there's a lot of years of practice put into that.
And what's the age gap between you and your siblings?
9 from me to the next one.
9.
12 from
so you're
the
real.
next.
You're like real mama bear.
Yes.
Wow.
And then my baby brother, who's the youngest of us, I'm 14 years older than him.
Wow.
So I was very serious. I was a really serious kid, just handling
Well, you
shit.
it sounded like you had no choice. You had to kind of step it up a little bit.
Yeah, but I really embraced it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's like you probably secretly liked it.
I really embraced it. I don't know. That was kind of me as a teenager. I was really studious. I was a smart kid that would just show up, ace the tests.
You're one of those.
Not study because I would just look at it.
Yeah.
I can retain information really well. So I'd read.
You're that kid everybody hated because you can just walk in, ace a test, walk out, and they're like, I'm studying for 4 hours, and I still failed it.
That's me. That's me.
Like, how do you get you watch and they teach you something? You're like, oh yeah, I got it, and they go, how do you get this? Like, halfway through the lesson.
I would know Mel knew how to pass the test, so I would make sure I'd sit next to her so I could get a little peek. All right, C A B. All right, perfect. All right, so studious. So, but
I read a lot.
Yeah.
I read a lot of everything. I would read everything I could get my hands on.
Do you still read? Are you still a big reader?
Not as much anymore.
Yeah, I'm not.
I lost touch with it too.
Not as much anymore.
Well, we had kids. It's kind of
blame them.
Yeah. And life.
Life happens. Yeah.
Life happens. I read now. Maybe if I read 3 books a month, that's probably a lot.
3 books a month.
If I read 3 books a year.
Yeah. Yeah. If I read 3 books in a year, that's a good year.
No, I would read a book a day.
Are you reading for pleasure or you read or a combination?
A combination.
Yeah.
If I find an interest in something, then I want to know everything about it. So I'll read.
How many cigar books have you read? Have you read any cigar books? There's a lot of good ones out there.
I've read
The Cigar. I think it's called The Cigar.
The Cigar Book. I've never read The Cigar Book.
The black hardcover.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a bunch out there.
I've read a few. So, my kids are really into thrifting. They like to go and find
That's a cool hobby.
It really is.
It's a really cool
fun.
hobby.
Huh.
So they go and they're looking for old band T-shirts, and then I go through the vinyl to see what I can find. At I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Somebody
some
discarded
you
old
find
record.
any treasures?
So I found some pretty good records, and then I'll look through the books to see what's there. So I've gotten a bunch of old and cookbooks. Old cigar books and old cookbooks are what I gravitate towards.
It's a cookbook.
I love it.
That's from the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
My brother, there's a thrift store in the city. I forget what it's called. It's called Buffalo something. I think I want to remember. My brother found a pair of Ferragamo loafers, his size, for $30.
No way.
Yeah, you
electric blue, and he wore them for the first year. He's like, yeah, these are my Ferragamos. But I'm like, damn, $30.
You can find some. I saw this. I follow some of these golf. I watch a lot of golf videos, and There's one popped up where the guy goes to like thrift stores to find golf clubs, and he found a like an old school Scotty Cameron, which is like the Ferragamos of the. It's like a brand new. Like if you get a brand new Scotty Cameron now, it's like a $500-$600 putter. And he found it in a thrift store for like $15, and he went to the guy. He's like, "Is this the price of this?" And the guy's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Would you do 10?" And he bargained it down. It's like it's already crazy. He's like, "Would you do 10?" The guy's like, "Yeah, I'll do 10." He gave him $10. He sold it like 2 days later for like $220.
I have a house upstate, and we went to like a thrift store, and I found a Louis Vuitton, not Louis Vuitton, Burberry. I found a Burberry jacket. It was like a windbreaker, and I sold it for like $300.
How much you pay for it?
30.
Not even. It was like $15.
Some people are
maybe
just
less.
like trying to get. They just trying to get rid.
I was like, "Is this I'm like, this is Burberry?" I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "I could probably sell this," and I put it on what's that app? The clothing app you can buy.
Oh, Poshmark.
Poshmark.
Yeah,
I sold it for like $300. And I was like, "Yo, is this during COVID actually?"
Thrifting's really cool. Like,
yeah,
just going into a thrift just to see what they have. Not even with the intention to look for something to then make money on it. It's just going in to say like, I just want to see all these cool things.
History,
like you go down the
yeah.
aisle, the little
right.
tchotchkes. You're like, what the? It's just like
have you ever found any cool cigar stuff?
No,
we found
but I
this.
found cool pipe things.
Here.
Cool
Speaking
pipes.
of thrift store, we found my stepdad found this in a thrift store.
The cigar press.
This was a get out of here. He found this. This is like an old school cigar press
Look at that.
that he found in a thrift store.
I think sweet. And they're small. Those are small.
I know, but like
What's
this
it
is
say?
this is Carl Hart Schwetzingen. This is a German. This is a German cigar press. I don't know if there's a date on it. Doesn't say.
How do you say that name?
Well, it's Schwetzingen. I don't know what it means, but that's how you say it.
Schwetzingen.
I can read it. Oh, what does it say over here? Just says 139. But anyway, it's cool stuff. Like, you know, finding a thrift store. He's like, the hell is that? Block of wood? Opens it up. It's a cigar press.
I love that.
That's pretty cool. That is cool.
I'm always hoping that one day I'll walk in and like find some kick-ass humidor or something. Like, no.
Yeah.
That would be nice. That would be the cigar gods.
Or a lighter,
shining upon me.
like a ST DuPont or something that's in there.
I
Never
lost
know,
my
man.
ST DuPont, RIP, at a wedding once. That was a mistake I learned. Never to bring expensive fun lighters to
Did
a
you
party.
hand it to someone?
No, I had my cigar case like we all have, and then we were outside, and I think I just forgot it outside at the table, and I walked away, and I was like, and my buddy just bought it for me for my birthday, and he's like,
Aw.
"Bro, what the fuck, man?" It was
For
all
people that
mine."
don't know, an
I was
ST
like,
DuPont's like a $300 lighter.
unnecessary, but yeah.
Well,
On the lower end.
Yeah,
it's
sure,
it's
yeah.
not
It can be 3,000.
Yeah, it can start at $300.
Like I was thinking, like, wow, you lost a $3,000 lighter.
Yeah, it was like
No,
it
it was
like
$3,000 lighter,
It was
he
kind of
wouldn't
like
be
this
using
one.
it.
It was like this. It was like this size, this thin, so it wasn't like a. It
was a thin one, yeah.
Yeah, but this one's really cool. But
anyway,
so
let's get back. Okay, so we found out how you got into cigars. Okay, so somebody invited you to lunch. You were hooked right from the get-go. But it's been 25 years since that. So how's the journey been? And now, like you're in the cigar business. Now you're like you're not just smoking; you're in the industry. So like, how did you get into that?
It's been an organic flow. Like I said, I was home with a housewife for a number of years, and then my now ex-husband and I separated, and I kind of got thrust back into working and supporting my family and my life and my habits because, you know, cigars aren't cheap. It's not cheap. It's not a cheap pastime. So with that, what would happen was he would take the girls. They were still younger at the time. So he would take the girls on the weekends. So every other weekend I had me time. So I started to
smoke 9 cigars every year.
Yeah.
I go 2. She goes 3 days and smokes 4. I can't imagine 2 weeks. Goes to smoke a whole box of cigars in a weekend.
I would start going back to the lounges and hanging out and just kind of getting back into cigar. And I should also add, by the time that rolled around, the cigar culture in New York was very different than when I first started. When I first started smoking, it was like you'd go to a lounge, you go to like Club Mac or Nat Sherman's or Soho
Carnegie
Cigar
Club,
Room, Carnegie Club. You know what I mean? You would go and there weren't too many places outside of that.
So it was like that. You were smoking around that '90s cigar
Yes,
boom, right? And
yeah.
then now you had kids, so this is what, mid 2000s, late 2000s.
So through the 2000s, and then like 2014 is when I'm going to say got back in,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
So around
Were
that
you smoking
time,
at all during when you had kids?
Very rarely.
Very rarely.
Very
Yeah.
rarely.
So you kind of had like a little break from.
Like if I went on vacation with the kids, like I'd find an
Yeah, I'd be, like,
opportunity
on the
to
beach
get
somewhere.
away
Yeah,
from
yeah,
them.
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? But like in my day-to-day life, maybe once a week, maybe
If you're
once a week
lucky.
if I was lucky. So my routine would be I'd wake up earlier than everyone else because, again, stay-at-home mom. I'm doing all the stuff, so I'd wake up earlier so I can have my alone time. So I'd have my coffee and my stick out on the deck.
Wow.
And then go inside and make breakfast and get
So
everyone
morning,
ready.
you were really trying to figure out how.
Are we talking like 5 a.m., 5:30?
I love smoking when the sun comes up. I go to the beach all the time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just to do that.
It's a great thing.
Yeah, I love it.
I did it once in Lake Placid. I remember walking out at like 6 a.m.
It's the
had
best.
a cup of coffee. It's Lake Placid, so it was cold. It was chilly. It was like 30-something degrees, 40 degrees. Sweatshirt on, hot cup of coffee, morning cigar, and nothing but pine trees and mountains for miles. And it's like dead silent. And the sun's like basically. And we did it in Colorado too. I have a time lapse of it because it was pitch black when we woke up, and it was all open. There was like a mountain over here, and I was like, the sun's gonna come up. So I have a time lapse of it. I was sitting there with a cup of coffee and a cigar, and I had the.
Were you like this?
No, no, I wasn't facing me.
Wait. Let's just adjust the camera.
I know, right?
Yeah.
No, I faced it out towards the mountain, and you could just see it like come
That's
up
cool.
over the mountain. It was really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, it took a lot longer than I thought. I was like, all right, it's okay. It'll be up in like 20 minutes or so. It wound up taking like an hour. So I sat there. I was just like, come on, all right, come on.
Started getting cold, didn't
I'm
you?
like, yeah, I was like, all right, come on, like, let's go, hurry up. Anyway.
It's like watching.
Let's see if I can have
Paint,
it.
it's like watching paint dry. You waiting for the sun to come up.
Yeah, like I thought it
This
was
is
gonna
brutal.
take. I thought it was gonna be quicker.
Yeah.
Like they say sunrise. It's like I looked at it. It said sunrise is I don't know 6:38, and it was like 6:20. I'm like, oh okay, so it'll be up in. No, sunrise is when it first hits the horizon at 6:38. Then I had to get over the mountain, and then it was like wound up not showing up until 7:30. I sat out there forever. I wonder if I can even find it.
So we
Anyway.
get back into it 2014-ish.
2014-ish.
Now, are you looking to get into the cigar industry, or just want to just be
No.
a consumer?
Not at all. It like I said, it organically kind of flowed that way. Around that time, I was just getting back to myself. So I'd go out to events and I'd go to lounges. Like I said, the whole lounge scene in the city has changed
Sure.
so much by that time.
So
There were a
what
lot
was
more
it? What was the
places.
change? Like what would you say the changes were like?
So then there were a lot of cigar clubs and
Like individual clubs,
Yes.
like cigar groups.
yeah, like cigar groups, cigar clubs that really started popping up that didn't exist prior to that. And then because there were so many, a lot more lounges started opening up, and there would be, if not a full-blown lounge, there would be a lot of shops that now had like smoking areas set up. And so I would start going to events and going to smoke and just hang out, and like I said, just kind of get in tune to myself, and started hanging out with friends a lot more because I had the time
Yeah, a
to
little more
now.
free time, sure.
I had time to do so. So started doing some podcasts, and we were doing that for a little bit, and then really just, it was all just fun. Like I was just hanging out, getting my
Smoking
groove back
cigar,
on,
yeah.
hanging out,
Just
you
smoking
know.
cigars, hanging out.
Just
with
Why
cigars.
do you think we do what we do here?
Yeah, it's just chilling, right?
fun.
And then COVID came, and the world kind of changed a little bit. So professionally at the time, I was a GM for an HVAC company. And when COVID hit, I was let go on furlough. And I'm like, I really wasn't liking that too much anyway.
Which
Let's
company?
switch gears.
On Long Island?
On Long Island.
You want to say the company?
No, I don't want to say the
Okay.
company. So I switched gears and then went to, I hit up my girlfriend who was a store manager for a Lowe's store. And I'm like, listen, I need a job. Do you have something that I can do? She's like, well, I don't have anything that's going to pay you where you were getting paid.
Yeah.
But I do need an HR manager. Do you think that you'd want to do that? I'm like, yeah, sure. So transferable skills. I was hiring and firing and training and doing all of those things in my other job. So went into that, and I'm like, oh, I'm really good at this. So that
I'm good at firing people.
Yeah.
You're fired. You're fired.
It's like what's that movie with George Clooney? Up in the Air. You ever seen Up in the Air?
No.
Never seen that movie?
No.
So he's.
I have no idea.
He's a So he does. He works for a company that basically does cleanup. So when companies are doing like mass layoffs, they hire this company to come in and
get rid of people.
Of people. So he fires people. He gets flown all around the country, and he goes. He sits down with the people, and they go one after another. He's just like, "You're fired. You're fired. You're fired."
Damn.
Could you imagine like that's your job? I forgot what the name. That's a specific name for a company that does that.
I mean, I did that. I should not have been doing that, but I've been. My first job out of college, it was this bullshit company. I was door knocking, selling TV, phone, and internet. And their premise was like, you develop your team and you build. And I remember this. I was 21, and I remember this guy who was interviewing and I had to take him on training. Was this really, really old guy. He must have been in his 60s, and I felt really bad because I'm like, you should not be here.
Aww.
And whatever, I worked with him a couple of days, and I get some jokes out of him because I'm like working with this old guy, but then I'm like, this is wasting my time. So I go to quote my boss, and I was like, I can't work with this guy. He's like, you got to fire him. And I was like, what? He's like, you got to let him go. You got to tell him. And I was like, listen, man, it's really not working out. I was trying to get around any way of saying it. Yeah. And he was like, no, please.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I'm sorry, man. And I was like, you gotta finish this up. I can't. This is way too hard for me to do. It's not like some 20-year-old kid. Like, this is an old man with a family. Like, I can't do this. I'm 21 years old.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, good times.
So but, you fired him.
Yeah, essentially. So, poor guy. Hope he's doing all right. But anyways. So you're now
COVID.
So you're now in your COVID.
So now we're in COVID, and everyone else is like the Instagram world and Facebook, and everything it's saturated with people taking pictures and people doing lives and just all the things, right? And at the time, I just had my personal page. I've had a personal page like for years and years and years. It was my family. It was whatever I cooked. It was my vacations. It was my life, it was all the things. But now that like I feel everyone was on and everyone was kind of looking because everyone was sitting around with nothing else to do but to fucking scroll. Yeah. So like everyone was in everything, and I didn't really
COVID made it explode.
For sure. And I didn't care so much for now some of the attention and some of the eyes that were looking at my posts when I have like stuff with my family. So that was really kind of the separation where I made a cigar page, I made a cooking page, and then my personal page. I kind of weeded it out, got rid of like people that randomly followed, then made it private, and like all of that stuff. So COVID was really the onset from it, and like everything that happens on the internet, it kind of takes a life of its own.
Yeah. The internet never fails, man. You want to find some interesting shit, the internet has got your back.
So when I branched out and did first my food cooking page, I'm like, oh, I take pretty decent pictures of the things that I make. So like, this is pretty decent. So then I started taking pretty decent pictures of my cigars and the things that I was smoking, and it kind of got attention, and then it was a little bit more, and then people were reaching out to me through there and all of that sort of jazz.
Now, what kind of what kind of stuff do you cook? Like, are you a baker? Are you a cooker? Are you a
yes, all of it, all the things,
all of it. So what's your speaking of which, you just brought homemade coffee cake, which was delicious.
But you can't go to someone's house and not bring them something.
That's true.
What kind of animal do you think I am?
Yep. Mama always said you never go to somebody else's house without preparing gifts. You have to bring something. And no, bringing yourself is not the gift. Okay. I brought myself. Here I am.
Well, today I had a meeting. What I do? I brought Dunkin' Donuts.
There you go.
I have a coffee here still. Yeah. So they're like, "What's this? I can't come to your house. It's their office, but
it's so a bottle of wine. Bottle of wine never, And even if people don't drink, like it's
just a gesture. Yeah,
just a gesture.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, bottle of wine. Oh, I don't drink. Oh, okay, well, I'll drink it.
Okay, fuck you.
Okay, I'll drink it.
You got a glass?
Yeah, that's funny. All right, so Yeah, so I noticed like some of your pictures, like you take some of the pictures with the Diligent, the blueprint with the blueprint actual prints. Then you put like the Diligent with I think it was a golf one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have like a little eye for meticulous cigar posting.
So now it's like I said, it's kind of taken off a little bit. Where before I was posting the pictures that I was just smoking. It was just life. But now with where I'm at with cigars and in the industry, it's more intentional.
Mm-hmm.
So I put thought into the shot that I want to take. I'll think in advance, like, oh, this would make a great picture. For example, the blueprint one, I happen to work at a facilities maintenance company currently. So I hit up the director in the construction department. I'm like, you got a blueprint for me? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, perfect. Can I have that? And she's like, yeah. And
there you go.
That was that.
The blueprint with the blueprint.
I mean, it's what's on the inside of the box, right? Is the
yeah, do this one.
Well, do that one. I was gonna because this is holding that up. The inside of the box is
it's full of blueprint labels, but yeah.
Yeah, you can see how it's like kind of sketched out.
Yeah.
That's an older box, so it's
not
as vivid as when you first get
originals.
it. Like there it is, right on the thing, like that.
Oh,
you
duh.
know? So
there
it's
you
like
go. A little schematic.
The schematic and blueprints and whatever. Yeah, just Google it. Now we got to think of something for the Diligent, right? So what do we do for the Diligent? What was the thought process behind that one?
I don't know.
Just random objects.
No, random objects.
Not random objects. It's more like I'll kind of think, oh, this would make a great picture. Like I was at what's the name of the place off the LIE where you go putting?
Oh, a Heartland Golf.
No, the
Where's it by? Why? What exit?
Top Golf.
Top Golf.
Oh,
there
Top Golf. Okay.
Top Golf. So I was there, and I'm like, oh, that would make a great picture. So that's what I did.
So you just set it up, and that's a beautiful thing about photography, right? You can find inspiration anywhere. You can just be seeing something like, you know what, this would be a cool picture. It doesn't have to mean like anything. Right?
There you go. Huh, there you go.
Yeah. See.
Bang bang. We love golf, so it was perfect.
I love golf. I can't
And then
wait.
where's the blueprint one? Yeah.
Waiting for the weather.
The blueprint. Where's the blueprint one? I know
It's more recent.
Well, she had this one too. Where was this one? This was
that
was
was
on
at
the
the
event. That was at the event. So I think it was before that one, right?
Looks like you didn't accept that one, did you, there, buddy?
And then this one is.
I saw how you went right past that.
What?
Looks like you didn't accept that collab, now, did you?
I didn't accept the collab. Oh yeah, look at that.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? I say it's because
oh shit, I didn't see that.
the only reason I say it, I'll throw myself under the bus, is because I didn't accept it either. I was looking through because whenever we had guests, I'm looking through inside. I'm like, oh okay, I'm looking through. And I'm like, oh there's the blueprint one. I was like, shit, I never accepted that. So click accept. I did it like an hour and a half ago. So I saw you didn't
really?
do it either. So I'm wondering if I don't know if it didn't matter, but I was like, oh okay, I'm scrolling through. Oh, I didn't accept that. Son of a bitch. Click.
Sometimes it gets
happens. Like sometimes with like, I'm convinced.
Life happens.
I'm convinced too. I really think that this happens. That Instagram will unfollow people and follow people for you.
I wholeheartedly agree with
because
that.
What was that statement? I'm sorry.
I think that Instagram will unfollow people and follow people for you, or like automatically.
Absolutely.
Because there's been times where I'm looking, I go, I know for a fact that I followed this person.
Mm-hmm.
I know for a fact, right? Like you're a guest on the show. I know for a fact that I followed you. And then you go, when I look up the guest, I'm like, why is it says I'm not following you? It says like, it has the follow back button. I go, I know for a fact that I followed this person.
For years.
And then I was wondering, like, I never see their posts anymore. And I go in there and it's like, you don't follow them. I go, what do you, and then, or I'll be scrolling through and somebody will pop up. I'm like, who the fuck is this person?
In my feed.
I'm like,
Things
who
will
is
come
this
up in my
person?
feed. I'm like,
That's
I
because-
don't even
And then
know
I
who
click,
this is.
and then I'm like,
I'll
who
tell you
is
why
this? So I
that,
click
I'll
the
tell you why
profile
that
and
happens.
it's,
Because on your feed, next to the caption, there's a little follow button. So you don't realize it. So when you're scrolling like this, sometimes you hit follow as you scroll up. Because I've noticed I do that a lot. I'm like, who the fuck are these random accounts that I follow? Like one time there was like a half-naked chick who I had no idea who it was. And I was like, who is this? And I was like, I follow them? I have no idea who this was. And then it'd be another random like, it was like a furniture company. Some random like furniture company. I'm like, how do I do this? And then one time I realized I'm like scrolling on the Explore page or whatever, and I noticed like a button change. I'm like, what the fuck was that? So I went back and I was like, oh, I'm following. Oh shit, I've been following accounts.
You know what I think
as
it
I'm
is
scrolling.
too is I think that because they have apps where you can buy followers, and I think if your page isn't private, if it's a public page,
Oh, gotcha.
then if somebody goes onto these apps and they say I want to buy 1,000 followers, it picks 1,000 random people, and then you just follow them automatically. And it's like I don't know who this freaking person is. Why did you pick my page? Like, but if you bought 100,000 followers to jumpstart your account, they got to come from somewhere. It's not 100,000 bots. So maybe
is it real accounts though? I mean, there are
I
real
thought they
accounts, but not real
they
people.
were like bait and switches.
Well, I mean, if you buy a lot, like it, I can see some of them being not real.
Because
like,
I remember I mentioned
talking
this.
all of them being bots. Like if you purchased 100,000 followers right now,
yeah, I don't.
would 100,000 be bots? Would it just be a number in your screen, or some of them come from somewhere?
Because a company did that. They were trying to sell me their service, and they inflated my follower count without even me saying yes. No, they just said, "Hey, look what we can do," and it went from like 20 to 30. I'm like, fucking go back. I don't want this. But I would look at them, and it was like, yeah, they were accounts, but it was 0 followers, 0 followers. So you could just tell they were just fucking.
You could tell it,
fake accounts.
But I do think that Instagram follows like some random people because it pops up on all the time. Like you said, that furniture company. Why would I follow them? Why? Yeah.
It was like more of like a it was a furniture company, but it was like skits with furniture. I'm like, what the fuck? How did this come on my? How am I following this page now?
Anyway, so where were we? I mean,
I don't know.
We were talking about how you ended up into the cigar industry now, and you were saying like
So
the
now,
COVID with
yes.
social media, and
Yes,
you were posting
There you go.
your stuff,
There
right?
you
So
go.
now you're posting
So now I'm
some
posting
good pictures.
things. Now I'm posting things intentionally. So everything is only cigars. The hashtags are only cigars.
Yeah.
Everything is only that. So now cigar people are looking at it. So then now I'm popping up on people's suggested and exploratory pages and all of that jazz. CK, who's the best human I know in this world.
Great guy. Great guy.
He's amazing. So he hits me up. This is 3 or 4 years back. Hits me up randomly one day. So sidebar, his shop is my local shop.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just go in, but we never bumped into one another. I just happened to go on days that he wouldn't even be there. So I'd go into the humidor. It wasn't anything like it is now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was like nothing. Actually, that was like I left the house. Damn, I forgot a stick. Oh, I'll just pick something up there.
Right.
You know?
The one in Massapequa?
Yeah. So I would grab something and that was it. So he hits me up one day and he's like, hey, I'd really like if you come into my shop. And I look at the address and I'm like, I do go to your shop all the time. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, I shop there all the time. And he's like, oh, well, why don't you come by so, we can actually meet each other and talk and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I went in and he's amazing. Like, he's just the kindest person. And that was kind of like the beginning of things. Then he, shortly after that, he asked if I would host an event with him. I said, sure. And that was like the inauguration into everything. So it was like the one event, and then it was helping him plan other things, and then
now you're
smoking everything.
Yeah, and now okay.
and
so now you guys have now they've got Get Your Cigars,
yes,
which is a new your latest
it's my
venture.
Yes.
So now what's the how'd you guys think of that? Because I know that CK has always been into boutique brands.
Yes.
But what made you what sets you guys apart? What made you say, you know what, we're going to start our own online distributor?
So the business ownership has, I don't even know how many at this point, brick and mortars. Not just in New York City and on the island, but up northeast down to, I think, mid-Atlantic. So they have all these brick and mortar stores. CK is really, his passion for boutique cigars is what has had the company branch out to start carrying them. Like, he is super passionate about it and will talk to anyone about, he will talk to someone about his favorite stick And it may not even be something that like you're fond of or like you like, but then you leave wanting to smoke it because he just hyped it up so much.
Yeah, because he hypes it up so much.
You know? So he started doing all the purchasing for the boutique brands, and then the part of ownership, they believed in him. They believed in what he was doing, and the sales speak for themselves. So the sales were phenomenal since he started like really putting some effort into it. And Slush, I know you guys know him. He
What was it?
Slush. He runs the New Hyde Park store.
Oh, okay.
But he's also part
I know the store.
of ownership. So he believed in CK and really backed him up and helped him to facilitate all the things that needed to be done to get the online shop up and going, which was really just an opportunity for all the people that would hit us up, because now we're on social media and we're talking about all these different boutique brands and cigars that other people in other parts of the country don't always have access to. Even, I don't even want to say other parts of the country. You go up north in the state and there's not a boutique presence upstate. You know what I mean? So people were asking how they can get their hands on it, and you can't ship out of a brick and mortar. So that was kind of the birthing of getyourcigars.com.
You can't ship out of a brick and mortar?
No. You have to have an online.
Is that a thing? I never knew that was a thing. I didn't know
tobacco.
You can't ship tobacco. You have to have to be an online distributor to.
Really?
If you want to ship, it, like you can't go into brick and mortar
officially.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I guess I never thought. I thought if you had a tobacco license in a brick and mortar shop, you're mom and pop cigars, and someone from
because of it's like age restriction. Because if they if you order it, like how do they know that you're of age to receive it?
But like Matadors can't. I guess. Yeah. I mean, I guess if you set up a separate company.
But when it's online, people have to enter information. They have to do age verification, and then.
Interesting.
And they when you order liquor, like you can't just drop liquor off at this. Like you have to. Somebody's got to scan your ID. But in a brick and mortar shop, you can't do that. You have to buy it from the. So when you come in, show your ID. But most people are older people that are above 18 or 19, whatever. So you can't do it. But yeah. So I think it's great because the cigar industry, especially in the last 10 years, has boomed with boutique cigars.
I love it.
A lot of people that are getting into cigars, they always just, whenever you see, what's your favorite cigar? They always just, they rattle off the Arturo Fuentes, the Padrones, the Davidoffs, like
LFTs.
Everything that people, there's like the big, call it like the big five or the big six, right? Arturo Fuente, Padron, Davidoff, LFDs, Drew Estate, Oliva, My Father's, all of these, they have a plethora of cigars, and everybody knows them. Okay, the Romeo and Juliets, all of these cigars everybody knows, the Perdomos, right? But when you get the smaller brands, that's where you get a lot of unique stuff, and people don't know about it. Like our cigars are boutique cigars, and every single person that smokes our cigars says, dude, this is so good. You should be selling this for $25 a stick. And we don't. We sell it for $10 a stick. Well, here in New York, it's a little bit more. But you get my point.
No tax.
But the thing is that people don't know about all these boutique cigars. There's so many good cigars out there that are not going to break the bank, and people don't know about them.
Absolutely. Well, the other thing with boutique brands is they're typically only known in the area that the brand launches from.
Yes.
Right? You know what I mean? So it's going to be regional. There are people that have boutique brands all across the country, but outside of like their area, their geographical area, people really don't know about it. So things like Instagram and TikTok and all these things where people are talking about sticks kind of sparks the interest, and then people are more curious to try them. And also the boutique brands have become kind of, I don't want to say they're flooding the industry, but they certainly have made a presence in the industry. And I feel that they are now kind of influencing larger brands to
try some new stuff.
To try new things and make like smaller batch creations, you know what I mean? Where they're not going to do a run of like 50,000, right? Now they have the opportunity because they see the interest in smaller blends to kind of
you try some stuff out.
I feel like I could start to see like the big brands buying out the boutique companies. So I could see that. Right? I could see that. Right?
Sure. I mean, that's the way of the world, right? That's always
it's
the route that it takes.
What
would you sell Billies and Dillies for?
What would I sell them for?
Yeah.
Or to whom?
Padron came up to you right now.
Oh, and said, "What's your price?" Damn. That's a fucking good question.
Would you sell them? I don't. That's.
Or is there a company that you would be willing to, or a company that you would not be willing to?
I would. There's no company that I wouldn't say I would be willing to. I'd always be willing to listen to everybody, but I would maybe like to sell maybe a part of it with still like ownership or still like direct
royalties.
I would say you can. I would say you can invest to help us expand.
Shark Tank it.
That's what I would say. I would be willing to like
unless it's a crazy amount of money, but I don't.
Yeah, unless they came up and said, "Hey, I want to buy Billies and Dillies for like $15 million," I'd be like, "Fucking out." See you later. Go ahead. But no, like I would.
Let me just start up another cigar company.
Yeah, no, I would say I would. Yeah, it would be. I think it would be more so like complete buyout. It's like because that's your baby. It's like selling. Like you can't sell your baby. Like that's. But unless you're like towards the back end of your career, like listen, I'm really trying to just get out of the industry. Like I'm trying to just retire. Okay,
and just get out of the industry.
But that's what I'm saying too. Is it's also like
not ever.
No, but it's also different too because it's not like it's not like a store that you're running, right? Or like you're a plumber or something, or you're like you've built up this restaurant and you have to work at it every single day. This is more of a
leisure.
Like it's a leisure thing. I mean, yes, it's a business, and I don't want to say like it's a business, but it's not where it's something that you have to put in like your 20 hours a day for the last 50 years. You're like, I don't want to run a restaurant anymore. I just want to be just take it off my hands, and I want to retire. This, it's like you can do all the luxuries of life and still operate this because you don't have. This is not trading like time for dollars when you have cigars, right? Because if you sell a box of cigars, if we do an event, yes, time for dollars. But if we sell boxes of cigars to 100 lounges, and we're like just kind of calling up and getting emails, every one of those lounges, if they order a box of cigars every single month or 2 boxes of cigars every single month, that's not trading time for dollars anymore. You got one account that it's selling good or selling well. Let's speak properly. You set up an account, and then that account it kind of like runs itself. The cigars are doing well. The cigars are doing well. They just keep ordering. But I no longer have to like.
And it's very different selling. It's not once you sell the box. It's not like you're responsible. Technically, of each stick within the box.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they're paying you off the top. So if it sits there, you don't want it to sit there.
No,
but if it sits there a little bit, you've still gotten paid.
You've gotten
for the
paid,
box.
And then it's kind of think of it like YouTube too, where people that make a YouTube video, they put a lot of time into this one video, and now they upload the video. That video's there until they take it down. But if they don't take it down, that video can continue to make revenue for them 10 years later. It's no longer the time is already done. They've put the time into this video, and now it continues to generate revenue. Do the same thing with cigars. You set up an account, and you might handhold them and contact them. But once the account's kind of like self-sustaining, where the cigars, the customer base has tried the cigars and they've fallen in love with the cigars, and they're going through box after box after box. The account's kind of running itself now. Because we have a couple like that, a lot of them like that just reach back out. They send us an email, said, hey, I need 8 more boxes. No problem. Just 8 more boxes. We just send that to the manufacturer. Boom. Month goes by. 2 hey, we need 10 more boxes. Hey, we need 8 more boxes. Hey. Now that account is kind of self-sustaining. And you do that 100 times. Now you have 100 self-sustaining accounts, and you can just kick back and put your feet up and just answer a couple of emails. So it's like when somebody comes up and says, hey, I would want to invest it or buy, I'd say I would more so see an investment. Say, hey, why don't you come in as like a partner? We're still in charge of this, but you can help us with your resources to build it more. But I don't know if I would like sell. Not at this stage. I don't sell it right off the bat.
No. I mean, you hear all those stories about companies that don't sell, and either A, they go out of business, or they end up being multi-billion-dollar.
Ring.com.
Yeah, there you go. That's
Ring.com. You ever hear the Ring.com guy? So you know the
doorbell, right?
Doorbell. Ring doorbell went on to Shark Tank. And he valued his company at like a couple $1 million, like $3 million or something like that, and was asking for I don't know, 20% stake or something, asking for $500,000, something like that. He valued it at $2 million, asked for $500K, whatever it is. And they turned him down. They said, no, it's just another doorbell. Like, it's a video camera. No, it's not going to happen. Nothing. They turned them all down. All of them turned him down. Fast forward, he sold it for $1 billion.
Oh.
So he went on Shark Tank and valued it for $2 million, asking for $500K, and nobody invested because they thought it was a shit idea. And years later, it's $1 billion. Imagine all those sharks are like, shit, I could have got in for how much?
Yep.
And I could have got 20% for like $100K or whatever it was. It's $1 billion now.
Nuts.
But it's always important to find someone that. So if you're going to sell your business is your baby, right? You want someone that's going to nurture it and have the same kind of care, because you don't want them to buy it and then it just sits there and it doesn't thrive as much as it would.
And they don't care about it
because they don't give a
much.
fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing too, is they're buying it more for like a moneymaker. They see it like an investment.
There's no blood, sweat, and tears.
But they're not going to. And that's the other thing too, is I would never want to sell because.
Or even worse, if they want to purchase it for a sizable amount, maybe they don't see it as a moneymaker. Maybe they just want. I want to have a cigar brand.
Yeah,
I want to buy something that has a following already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I have a cigar company.
Right.
Yeah.
And that actually brings up another, because that is I think that's the danger in boutique brands is, yes, there's one side where there's a lot of very good boutique brands, but on the other side is you see some people that they just want to have a cigar. And they don't really put the effort into creating a cigar that is, they just find, they go to a company and they find like, hey, what do you got? And they go, oh, we have some leftovers. How much? $1 a stick or 50 cents a stick.
Even the ones
slap
that
my
take
name
the
on it.
time.
And then they put it out like, oh, I have a cigar. And I go, yeah, but you don't, like, we went through 13 different blends to finally get the blueprint. And then we went through, 5 different blends to get the diligent. Like, we put that, and we tasted every single one 2, 3, 4 times. We wrote down a list of 10 categories. Like, we went through this whole process to make sure that the stick is what it is today, and that's why everybody loves it. Both sticks. And we do that. We're going to do that with every stick that we have. But some people just go into a factory because they got some money, like, I want to have a stick.
I'll pick that one.
And they go, just give me that one, and slap my name on it, put it in a box, and sell it.
I've also seen where there have been brand owners that have taken the time, they've gone through the process of curating just the right blend, and they put it out, and it's a fantastic stick, but they didn't secure enough tobacco. So then when it was time to re-up,
goes downhill.
It's not the same. This is not the same product that I liked before.
That's the challenge with. That's actually one of the reasons why Padron is so good. And there's a lot. I'm just picking Padron. There's a lot of them, but Padron makes a cigar that tastes the same year after year after year, so their quality of the stick, they uphold that quality, even though that the crops can change, right? Mm-hmm. The seasons change, but they still create that same Padron flavor that you're always looking for, which is very difficult to do, but what makes them successful. Now, on the flip side of it is some people pride themselves on the cigars tasting a little bit different every year, kind of like the vintage of a wine. Cigars don't have, some of them have years on them, like the Chef's Edition will have a 2014, 15, 16, 17, and Illusion Bull's got different years. Some of them don't have that. Some of them are just like, no, we want it to stay the same the whole time. But then if you have the vintage too, that's where cigars get interesting as well, because you could have the same blend, but like the vintage of a wine, same blend might taste a little different year after year after year because, which is cool. I think that's really cool. But on top of that is, if it does taste different, you want to make sure that it's a good different, that it doesn't go down the hill because you haven't secured the crops, you haven't secured the tobacco, you haven't made sure that you taste test every year.
You have a lot more leeway for your product to taste different if you're an established brand, right? So you mentioned Padron. Padron, if you open a box of 1964 and all of a sudden it doesn't taste like what it tasted like yesterday, there's more leeway. Like, it's already established.
Yeah, you'll be a little bit okay with it.
But a smaller, just starting, or a newly started company that now is switching up, like, there's not going to be grace for that.
If somebody pulls out, which is why I tell people all the time, like, if you try a cigar and you don't like it, I said you have to try it a second time.
I agree.
Like, you have to give the stick a chance, because sometimes you might pick up a bad stick. It happens. These are handmade. They're not all going to be perfect. Sometimes
Will you smoke a stick that you don't like?
I won't smoke. If I've never had it before,
You've never had it before. You light it. You're like, what the fuck is this? Do you smoke it?
I will let it open up. I will smoke halfway through it because you have to give the cigar a chance to open up and to breathe. It's just like a wine. You pour a glass of wine and you take that first sip. You may not like it. Wine needs to breathe. It needs to aerate. You got to let the air get to it. You got to let it open up a little bit. Then try it, and then you might like it. Cigar do the same thing. After I light it, if I don't like it in the beginning, let it open up. I'll smoke it. I'll get halfway. If I still don't like it, I'll put it down. But I won't say, you know what, I'm done with that stick. I will come back at a late, like a couple weeks or a month or so, try it again. If I still don't like it, then okay, that cigar is not for me. I won't say it's a bad cigar, but I'll say that cigar is not for me.
No, there's some sticks that are trash.
Tell them.
Not for me. They're not.
Tell them, Mel.
Yeah,
No.
but there's a place for those sticks. For you might be like, yeah, it's trash. I don't like that. But for somebody else, they might like it.
Agree.
So that's what I'm saying. It's not a
yes.
bad stick. It's just not for me. That's not a good stick for me. I don't like the stick. That doesn't mean you don't like it.
Yeah, their opinion is trash.
Okay. Now listen, if we
Trash.
Trash.
trash, trash. Coming from the strong opinion, right?
Trash, man.
But no, I will tell people. I said, listen, try it a second time, because you could let's say you got a box, and let's say that box wasn't properly taken care of. Maybe it was transported during a very hot day or something, or a very cold, or maybe the humidor is not up to par. So if you don't like it, maybe you ate something that day and it doesn't sit well. Maybe you're drinking something that doesn't sit well with that. Maybe you're drinking, an IPA and you're having a Connecticut. The IPA is overpowering. So I said, give it a chance. If you don't like it, get something else. Come back to it at a later date and try it. And then then maybe it's you don't like it.
Maybe it's trash.
Okay, maybe it's
trash.
trash.
Are there any brands or cigars that you think is trash?
None that I would say out loud.
Damn it.
Another point.
Damn
Point
it.
is,
I want something juicy.
I always say, people always say when they're people that are not seasoned cigar smokers or cigar knowledge, right? They don't know about cigars. Whenever I hear they smoke cigars, they go, "Oh, are Cubans really good?" And I say this.
Oh my gosh.
I know it's always
The eye
they go,
roll.
"Are Cubans really that good?" I go, "Listen, Cuban cigars are just a region that produces tobacco, okay? There's a lot of other countries that produce tobacco. There's Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, Honduras, Mexico, Ecuador, Cameroon. All of these places produce tobacco and make cigars. Cuba is just one of them. If you don't like the flavor of Cuban tobacco, you're not going to like Cuban cigars. Does that mean that Cuban cigars are bad? No, it just means you don't like the flavor. If you don't like a very peppery cigar, you're not going to like Padron, because Padron's a Nicaraguan Puro. It's all pepper. So if you don't like that flavor, does that mean Padron's a bad company? No. It's just you don't like that. So I tell people, I said, it's just like wine. Like, if you don't like Cabernet, that doesn't mean Cabernet's bad. You just don't like the flavor of Cabernet. You're a white wine drinker, maybe. But I tell all the time, they say, oh, Cubans, are they really that good? I said, no, they were just good because they're hard to get. So, but they just have a unique flavor. They kind of taste dirty. That's what cigar. Mexico is a little bit sweeter. Honduras is a little bit floral. Ecuador's a little earthy. Dominican's earthy. Nicaraguan spicy. Like, they all have different flavors. You just got to find what fits your palate. Doesn't mean it's a bad stick.
The other thing with Cuba.
Unless you don't like it, then it's trash.
I'm glad we understand it ourselves. The other thing with Cubans is non-smokers. Like, there's always the guy that, oh, what are you smoking? Oh, it's only a Cuban.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here. Like, what?
Like, come on,
What are you
broaden
talking
your horizons a
Yeah.
little bit, dude.
No, I only smoke Cubans. No, I don't.
You know what I will
I
find
don't
with
smoke
Cubans though? Cubans,
tight draw.
it's either like I can't get any smoke out of it, which is that right there. When you ask, like, if you ever put down a cigar, if I can't get smoke out of it, I will try to fix it. It might be clogged. I'll try to poke it. But if I can't get smoke out of it, I'm not smoking it.
Yeah, that's.
I don't want to
about
sit
the
there
time
and
I
try
pull
to
it down.
Yeah.
If I stuck a golf ball through a garden
I'm not doing
hose,
it.
it's getting put down after you try.
And
it.
I've had some Cubans that are really good. I've had some Cubans that I'm like, this ain't really worth it, Do you like Cubans at all?
I do. I think that overall, as a blanket statement, to your point, many of them have very similar tastes.
Yeah, it tastes dirty.
You know what
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
It tastes trash.
Those are not my words. But they taste very similar. So it's when people are like, "Oh, I only smoke Cubans." Yeah, because you only like one taste. You know what I mean?
Like, bro, there's so many other flavors out there.
I always say, "Come on, you got to expand a little bit." Oh,
yeah, try, and then you have blends, and it's just like and I tell people too with the I always say if you like a stick too, I said if it has other sizes, try it in other sizes.
Absolutely.
And I go because listen, think of it like this.
Absolutely.
I go, you're gonna have the same stick. Let's say you have it in a short, fat one, right, like a 4x60. Then you have a regular Robusto, 5x50. And then you have a Lancero, 7x38. All the same tobacco, same wrapper, same binder, same filler, everything.
Will taste different with each one.
I said it's going to taste different. I said because the ratio of those of the tobacco is different. Think about making, let's say you made chicken parm, and I made chicken parm. But your chicken parm, you use a little bit extra cheese on it. You like a cheese heavy, right? We all use the same ingredients. Chicken, tomato sauce, and cheese. You have more cheese on yours. Let's say
Thank you.
Okay, here. Let's say you.
We need the garlic.
You put a lot of cheese on yours.
That's German. Okay. German speak.
You put a lot of garlic on yours, and I put a lot of sauce on mine. Same ingredients: chicken, cheese, garlic sauce. Same ingredients. All three are going to taste different. Same exact ingredients, but there's different ratios of the ingredients in the same dish.
I like my sauce a little garlic.
You know, so that's what I'm saying. So I go, it's the same ingredients on the cigar, but there's going to be different ratios. You got to try them. They're going to have different flavors. You take a Lancero and a 4x60, and you try them side by side. They taste completely different. So I go, and that again, you said open up your horizons. If you only like Cuban cigars, you got to try some other stuff. Open up your horizons when it comes to sizes. Some people I find they only smoke the same size over Robusto, Toro. I go try some other stuff, man.
Lancero's my favorite.
I love Lanceros. We say Lancero ho. I'm a Lancero ho, man.
Are you a Lancero ho?
I guess I am.
Or a Lancero lover for the PG folks, okay?
Where did that come? Where did Lancero?
Lancero lover sounds better.
I think it was one of our buddy, one of the who were those guys? Man, it was another COVID interview. They said that. Straight Cut.
Maybe.
Guys from the Straight Cut podcast. They're also in
Adam, right?
Straight Cut.
Aaron,
yeah.
Metalhead. Yeah. But anyway, you got to try different, branch out. I said, you're always smoking Robustos. Try a Lancero. Try a little shorty one. Try a Figurado, Torpedo. They all have different flavors. You gotta try some stuff, man.
I agree.
And that's how you find, you start trying boutiques.
You see what you actually like.
And then you find some really cool stuff, man.
Aaron Shuttleworth, Straight Cut podcast, but also the West End Cigar Lounge in Little Rock, Arkansas. I knew I had it in there.
Yeah, he's a metalhead.
That was a long time. Yeah. We haven't talked in a long time. That was a long time ago.
Anyway, okay, let's. What are we? Hour in. Holy shit, dude. I like the cigar. I like the cigar talk. Right. Let's. What are some of your? Now, I obviously know the Blueprint's like one of your favorite cigars.
It really is.
I get it. What are some of your other? What are some of the other? Like you've been smoking for 25 years. What are some of your go-tos? Like, listen, I love this stick, or go-to brands. Placencia. So you like a little spice.
I do.
That's probably why you like that one too.
Yeah.
You got there's a little kick in that one. Yeah. Kick, and then the sweetness of the Mexican wrapper balances it out. It's good. So you like Placencia?
I do.
Which ones? Do you like this what is it, the Sexto one they call it? You call it the Sexto?
No, that's it's like the dark green label, right?
No, it's not the Sexto. The Sixto. Sixto, the 60 ring that's like hexagonal. You know that one? You've never seen that one?
No.
Oh, man, it's so cool.
I think it's like a dark green label.
It's a Placencia Alma Fuerte.
Yeah.
No, Alma Fuerte. And the size is Sixto because it's a hexagonal 60 ring. So they call it a Sixto. I kept calling it a Sexto because of hexagon, but it's not. It's a 60 ring, but it's 6 sides. It's not a perfectly round stick.
I hate that.
Really cool stick.
Yeah, hold on. Let's see here. Because,
I like them.
Did you find it?
Yeah, Sixto.
Yeah, type in Sixto Placencia.
Yeah, it's dark green. Yeah,
is it dark green?
Yeah, right here.
Is it the Alma Fuerte?
Yep, Alma Fuerte. Yeah,
yeah.
You guys right here.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh.
So if you open it up, it's not perfectly round. It's like 6 sides, like a stop sign.
Nice.
It's very
pretty cool, man.
It's nuts, actually. I'm gonna try if we can find a.
So Placencia.
Yeah, you can
Placencia
kind
is another. I like Nicaraguan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Nicaraguan
yeah. So
tobacco.
you like Padrones, right?
I like.
Quiet pause. Quiet pause.
Moving on.
You're moving on.
But you can see, so it's like, you can see it's kind of like, I don't know why you call it. Yeah, it's not a hexagon.
It's a hexagon, 6 sides.
It is a hexagon.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of bizarre.
All right,
But
so pass on Padron. What about like My Father? Do you like My Father stuff?
I like My Father. I like. Now I'm on the spot because I smoke just about everything.
Okay, so let's.
But with some of my go-tos, I like a lot. I always go back to. I get asked this question quite a bit, and Casa de Sueños, the Fantasia.
Oh,
yeah,
my
okay.
God, I love that
we
stick.
smoked. Those are guys around California, right? And
mhm.
you remember they sent us a bunch of their cigars years ago, and I really enjoyed. It's been a long time, but I really, really enjoyed those cigars when I did smoke them. But it's been a minute. Yeah, Casa de Sueños.
It's a good smoke.
That's a name
It's a
drop.
really good smoke.
Oh, definitely. I must have been where we're at 2025 right now. That must have been at least 4 or 5 years ago. Last time I had those guys. Pause. But all right, what else? Anything else?
Tatuaje.
Tatuaje.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I'm going to ChatGPT and say, give me 20 cigar brands that use Nicaraguan tobacco, because it's not. There's a lot that, like for instance, Padron's a big one because that's Nicaraguan puros,
Nah.
all of them. But My Father's Nicaraguan. Okay.
Yeah, they bounce around.
There's
What's your nationality?
Puerto Rican.
So there's that was
Tatuaje.
It's,
This
is
one's
the
funny.
Is the Hispanic nationality have to do a lot with the spice?
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, overall, I
mean-
don't think so. Everyone's palate's different.
I have one
Yeah.
for you.
A little spicy.
And this is kind of. Have you ever heard of Black Label Trading Company?
Yes,
Do you like Black Label?
I do.
They
Where
have.
are we going with this?
No, the reason it popped up because some people don't know about Black
they
Label
have a
Trading.
huge, they have a what's that huge pepper bomb cigar? That was
Yeah, the Deliverance. Dude.
Yeah, that thing is crazy.
You ever smoked a Deliverance? Knocked me on my ass.
That's not an
Okay.
open hand slap. That's a close fist punch
no,
in the
that's
face.
Jeez
that's a kick to the
Louise.
dick. Is
Yeah.
what that cigar was.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember smoking that cigar. Now I would go into Matadors. Shout out to Matadors in Hauppauge. That's where that was like my local lounge.
That's where I go most
And
of the time.
I went in one day. This was, I don't know, this was years ago. 8 years ago, 9 years ago, something like that. Maybe less. I don't know. Whenever it first kind of came out. It was after work, and I had missed. I had like a light lunch. I guess I missed. I didn't have much food in my system, and I went over and I was having a cigar. And I always tried new. I would go in and say, "Hey, Frank or Will," I said, "What do you got that's new? I want to try some new shit." And I was always trying stuff. This is when I first started the Instagram. I would try some new stuff, take a picture of it, put a little review on there, and that's how the Instagram started. He goes, "Oh, I got a cigar for you. Black Label Trading Company. It's called the Deliverance, dude. It was this little like figurado type of stick, like a little fat figurado." And he goes, "You got to try this cigar." I was like, "All right, cool." So I tried the cigar. I sat down in the back, sat there for like an hour, smoked the cigar. Strong, really strong cigar. Okay, smoked it, enjoyed it. Good stick. I get up, I stand up afterwards, and I was just like, whoa. I started to like sweat, and I'm like, it got me like nauseous because I had no food in my system, so I was getting like a strong stick. We talk about this, the nicotine poison, you get or nicotine sickness, you get cigar sickness, and I sat back down. I was just like, I'm like, I gotta get some water or something. I had to sit there for like a half an hour and let it pass. Because this thing literally knocked me off. I stood up and it knocked me right back down. I was like, whoa, that stick was strong, dude. And I don't think I've had it since, but I've had some other ones. They had like the Bishop or the Last Rites.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
They have a couple other ones, but if you like pepper, they got some good stuff.
Well, I don't know. Now you made it kind of scary sounding.
Well, they have, what's the other one we had too? Didn't they have
Scared her
like
away,
a,
right?
like
It
a,
knocked me away. Why would I want to go run for that?
well, make sure you have some food in you, not like me, idiot. I think I had like breakfast and then waited 6 hours and then.
What? That's a way to not to sell a cigar to somebody.
They had, what was the other one? The Wasp or the Killer Bee or something?
Oh
like
my
that?
God!
Oh.
Yeah, the Killer Bee.
Remember
yeah,
that one?
Yeah, and that has like a pig. What do you call it? Has like the pigtail at the top. I think if I remember.
What about Drew Estate? Do you like any of the Ligas?
I do love Liga.
Yeah.
I like Liga a lot.
Ligas got some
I
good
like
stuff.
Liga a lot.
The Feral Pig is probably my
Papas
favorite.
Fritas.
Papas Fritas.
Papas
That's a
Fritas,
nice
nice.
little. That's a
Yeah.
nice little one, man.
So I
You
go.
probably like the L40 too, the Lancero that they have.
I do.
Yeah.
I do the Papas Fritas just the right amount of stick for me to have on my lunch break.
Perfect. It's like a
So-
mini Lancero.
Yep.
Yeah.
So go
a French
sit
fry.
there and just
It's
chill.
a French fry. It's literally that's why it's called Papa's Fritas. It's called French fry because it looks like a little French fry.
It is.
Yeah.
I've had it. I don't think I've. Have I? I've known about it. I don't know if I've ever smoked a Papa's Fritas.
Well, you should.
I remember the flying
Should
pig, the pigs that they
It's
had.
hard when I have my own cigars. I just smoke my own. I have so many other
See,
cigars in my humidor.
Yeah, that's
Like people give them to me all the time, and I'm like, I'm gonna smoke these, and then I just go back to my own. It's
But
like,
you know, that's the funny. It's we mentioned this before on the show where when you make your own cigar, it's fantastic. It's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because your idea has come to fruition, and it's your baby. It's like your thought, your passion has come to reality, and now you can share that passion with everybody. The curse is you never want to smoke anything else. So like you're broadening the horizons. You're trying your variety is the spice of life. That all goes away because now you just smoke. You just want to smoke yours all day long. You know.
Yeah, it's like when you own as you own a business, you don't want to like promote anyone else's business but your own. So it's like I can't be caught smoking someone else's cigar. I gotta be smoking my cigar.
Although I will like.
The only time if I go away on vacation or if I know I'm going away for a day or two and I have to bring a boatload of cigars, that's when I'll
some
bring
variety.
Yeah, I'll bring a bunch of cigars because I don't want to always hand out my cigars because A, they cost money, and people don't always smoke them, so they'll have a couple puffs. Like when we do events, and obviously people buy the cigars there, or the event buys a cigar beforehand, so it doesn't hurt as much. But like sometimes we do these cigar events that's not always cigar centric. And you see blueprints and diligence, and they smoke them like there's like this much
fallen
left.
soldiers.
Does it hurt your soul a little bit?
Oh my gosh!
No, it doesn't hurt my soul. It breaks my soul. I'm crying
Every time, it's like a little
inside.
piece of me is just ripped out. But you know what I will do is like on the golf course sometimes, like if I'm going on a golf trip or if I'm doing like an event, like I'm going for a golf outing, there's gonna be drinking or it's gonna be hanging out, and I'm not really gonna focus on the stick. It's more just like I'll smoke some other stuff, whatever, because I know I'm gonna smoke 3 cigars, so I'll save like my cigars for when after the round's over and I'm having a cocktail by the fire. I get to smoke mine, but during the round, I'm gonna be putting the cigar on the ground. You're not really focusing. I'm just kind of smoking while I'm playing, so I might pick something else up.
Dabble.
Or when you're
Sounding
doing
a little snobby, right? A little cigar snobby.
Hey, listen, there's cigars. There's good cigars and then there's trash cigars. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I'm the one that said it.
Justin's definitely a little
I'm bougie. I don't give a shit. I'm bougie, man. I like. What's wrong with liking the finer things of life? Okay.
I mean, we all have a box that's like to the side of the cigars that we'd give away.
Listen, I'm
You
a
know?
bougie. I'm a
like
bougie brother.
oh, you smoke? Can I have one? Yeah, hold on. Let me give you one of these.
Well, Justin's thing, he kind of gives away his own secret on the podcast.
Yeah.
But on his humidor, he puts all the cigars he wants to give away on the top shelf. So when people are over and they say, "Can I grab a cigar?" He's like, "Yeah, go top shelf, anything you want." And people are like, "Oh, top shelf cigar, sure." And then it's not really like
It's all like no name or whatever.
So
Well, you see the
that's
folks-
how you know if your friends or whoever listens to the podcast, because then they know not to take anything from the.
Well,
the top
it's
shelf.
funny because like our there's like a group of friends that we all hang out with and stuff. And when I first started hanging out with them, I was a cigar guy, and I was the one who's smoking cigars. And there was only one other guy in the group that smoked cigars, that liked cigars, and we would always smoke. And I would tell him all the stuff that I knew, and we would share cigars. And now the group has grown where there's like all the dudes are smoking cigars. Like the guy I golf with, he starts smoking occasionally. The buddy I watch, a hockey fan, him and I are good buddies. I got him into cigars. He's got a humidor now. Another buddy that's our buddy Rich. He's a big cigar guy now. He smokes like cigars every day. And we got like now everybody, because they would hang out and they'd be like, "Hey, you want a cigar? You want a cigar? You want? Yeah, let me try a cigar." And then you give them one, and they go, "Wow,
I love that."
And then now it's like. Now you got a group. Now there's 6 of us going out smoking stogies in the pool, smoking stogies.
Love
Everybody's smoking cigars, and I'm like, "Am I a bad influence? Nah, it's a good influence, bro." People always like, "Oh, you're
sharing
bad."
the love.
I'm
It's
like,
not bad
"Yeah, man."
influence.
Like I said, I'm sharing my passion with you guys. Like you get, and they love it. They love the diligent. They love the blueprints. They have them in their weddings, but it's you rub off on people,
That's what you do. A cigar.
I'm a bougie brother. What do you want?
A bougie brother.
I like the finer things in life.
All
Okay?
right, I'm gonna start calling you Justin the Bougie Brother. That's a great nickname for you. No more German missile. He is the Bougie.
The bougie brother.
That's
You know what's funny is I was
be careful with that one. I'm not gonna let that one forget.
It's funny when I was I actually just speaking of nicknames, I actually just got a tattoo on my leg of a moose. So it's a I'm a mountain man at heart. So I have like a tattoo. It's just I'll show it to you later. It's pine trees with a big moose head, and there's mountains in the background. There's clouds and there's snow everywhere. But I was getting this, and it's a really cool tattoo. And I was thinking, I'm like, it'd be funny if people just start calling me Moose for like no reason. Like, what's your nickname? Moose. Why do they call you Moose? I got a tattoo of a moose on my leg.
Kid I played football. Kid I played football with. His nickname was Moose.
Was it?
Yeah. He was a running back.
Yeah, you call him Moose. Like, why? Do you like?
I don't know why we called him Moose,
Yeah,
but we did. But let's talk. I don't know what the fuck.
We go.
Good conversation.
I don't know what just happened.
Melanie,
you have to understand something about me. I can talk about anything, and I will go off the freaking rails. Okay, Eric's got it. He's got to read. Like, we'll get there eventually. But
I'm the handler.
I try to do it as discreet as possible. Like, give him a look. Like, come on, shut up now. Like,
man,
we're going off tangents here. Come on, come back on. You know, we have a guest.
I like to. Now he's a downhill skier. I like to slalom.
Yeah.
Okay? I like to. I'm off in the trees. I'm camping. I'm sitting there. I'm coming back.
Let me tell you, it's good. It's very good in a lot of social settings. Sometimes when I don't feel like talking, and the people
just set him up.
Justin will figure out something to talk. I remember one time we were at an event and this guy started talking about box car racing or something like
slot car
racing. I have no contribution to this conversation. Good old Justin. Oh, I used to do this back in the day. Blah, 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 blah. They started going off. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go sell some more cigars. You guys talk about slot car racing. I'm like, it's good. It's good. So, and
you need balance.
Anyway,
and that's what it is. That's why it's such a yin and yang. Because
speaking of tattoos, I have a yin and yang tattoo.
You do?
I do.
How many tattoos you got?
2.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm a clean canvas.
I actually have it on. I have.
They don't put bumper stickers on Ferraris.
Oh Jesus!
Isn't that's such an I don't say that, but like that's kind of embarrassing to say when people say that. I'm like, really, bro?
It was actually your skin
is so perfect, or
it was actually a cover up. So this is what it was, and then he redid it into that.
Oh, that's amazing!
It's unbelievable. I don't know how he did it. Like.
Yeah, you didn't even see the old tattoo.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
it's incredible. It was like 6 hours, but I got a tattoo when I was younger, and I was like, I want to cover this up, and he did it. I'm like, wow, this is. I don't know what made me think of like a moose. I saw a tattoo and it had like a deer head. I was like, I don't want a deer head. I want something different. Everybody gets a deer head. Every hunter has a deer on their body somewhere, right? It's like, let me get a moose.
I don't know about every hunter.
Anyway.
I don't really know many. I actually don't know many hunters that have a deer tattoo at all.
It sounded good, okay? It sounded like a good.
All right, we got to stop talking. All right, let's get Melanie back in the conversation here, please. Just going off the
gosh.
So, I don't even know where we left with Melanie.
No, we're talking about like with boutique brands with Get Your Cigars, and I think it's very good because a lot of people don't have access. Like you said, unless you're in that region where the boutique cigar started, you don't have access to that stuff.
Right.
But now you guys are trying to allow everybody to have access to all these boutique things.
And Get Your Cigars is only boutique cigars.
I was just going to ask that. There's no
at this point.
Do you have plans to bring big brands?
That has been discussed. Right now we're just boutique, but
I think you should keep it.
The vision, it would be really great.
Just keep it.
The vision is to make it kind of like an Amazon, like a one-stop shop. So to go and have access to all the things would be the ideal end of the road.
So
accessories.
Are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
accessories.
Expand on it a little bit. So Amazon for cigars, anything cigar related.
Anything cigar related.
Okay.
Eventually, like I said, that's the end goal. But right now we just have boutique cigars.
What if it's like,
and not just to minimalize it, but just saying, that's
I wonder if there's like boutique, like accessory brands.
So here's the thing with that. To go back to what I was saying earlier about, like, once COVID came around and everyone was sitting at home. Well, first of all, the government was giving everybody freaking money to start a business, right? So, like, you want a business here, have some money.
And now the people that took all that money are starting getting caught. I've been watching so many cop videos of everyone stealing PPP loans. Oh, forget it. But
so everyone was branching out and trying to create something. So there's so many accessory brands.
Oh, I get them
out
all the
there
time.
now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
DMs on Instagram. Hey,
I just got a DM today.
Can you review my cigar cutter?
Like everyone has cutters and cases and humidors and torches and ashtrays and art and like everything. So that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it as a negative thing, but that was kind of the start of that. So everybody has something that they're doing. which is good for the cigar industry, for cigar culture. You know what I mean? Like it's blown up to be so much more than what it was when I started smoking.
You know what I would like to see I would like to see unique cigar accessories. Like for instance, this lighter that we got we used to have, they discontinued it, but the fact that it had, like, a lot of them have punches on them, but this one, the fact that it has like a cigar stand is unique, and a lot of people, when you show them that, they go, wow, that's really cool. Our cutters have a cigar stand built into them, or we have a Zippo with a built-in torch. Now that's been around, you can get the insert, and a lot of people just change out their Zippo, but we actually sell it as a Zippo lighter with the. There's also a case that I have that we can't find it anywhere. He's been trying to get it, and I've been trying to look. Remember the case, the big case I have?
Yeah, that's impossible to find.
We can't find it, but it's a case that has 2 clips. You open up the top, okay? Then there's a little tray with the gasket, and you can pull the tray out, and that's where the cigars go, but it's airtight. But then it also has a compartment on the right where you can put all your cutters.
Oh, nice.
So it's like separated, and it's a great case. But we can't find it. And I'm like, I would love to see unique.
I've seen a few that are like 3D printed.
Okay.
But because it's 3D printed, it doesn't look sleek.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just not
durable.
sexy.
I wouldn't think it's too
because I like
either,
to
right?
see, I like to see the unique
I would
stuff.
imagine that it would be like fragile, like
flimsy.
porous. Yeah.
Yeah, because the 3D print. I mean, as far as I know, the 3D print stuff doesn't come out like super that kind of plastic. It's not printed
like
that.
I saw a lighter. We actually might add it to our repertoire. But I saw a lighter that had a V cutter built into the lighter.
I was going to say, so someone recently sent one to me. It was like maybe about this big.
Yeah.
It has a straight cut or a V cut and has a punch down at the bottom. It's a torch, and then at the top, it also has like the little cradle to rest your cigar.
See, now that's really unique.
I think it's great. It's also kind of big and clunky though.
That's my thing. I like sleek
it's
accessories.
Probably about the size of my phone and like maybe an inch thick. That's kind of bulky.
You can't bring it in that. You can't bring it in that. You can't bring it in my thing. I like sleek, thin. Like
it's got to be able to go in my pocket.
Yeah.
One thing that I think it has to go in a suit pocket. Like if it goes on the inside of my suit, there's like the little, not your pockets up here. There's a pocket down here that I always get in all of my suit coats. But things like that's unique because everybody comes out. Like, no offense, everybody has this. Okay, we have it, but everybody has a 5-count travel case. Everybody's got a 10-count travel case. But I like to see the unique stuff that comes out. Everybody's got a regular cutter. But does everybody have like a regular cutter with the cigar stand? Does everybody have, the ones that have all of it built in? Do you have the cases that have the compartments and stuff?
But here's the thing. There is a market for all of it. There's a place for all of it.
Yeah,
cigar people are
we love our shit.
Hoarders and lovers of collectors of shit.
I'm speaking from the guy that already has all of those regular cutters, right? Like if you're just starting out, get yourself a regular cheap straight cutter, $10 straight cutter. Get yourself a $10 torch. Get yourself you don't even need a humidor. You can use like one of these.
I still have my favorite straight cutter. I don't use it, but it's like in my little basket of cigar goodies in my closet. But it's that Cigar cutter that's like butterflies open.
Yeah.
That's I think it costs like $20. And that's the best one. That was one of the best ones.
This one. I love this one.
Yeah, you love that one.
It's a Cigar. I love this one, right? But this is coming from a guy who's got all of those accessories ready. So I want to see the cool stuff. Because we're hoarders. How
much cooler can you? Like how much more?
I don't
cooler,
know.
Like, how much more innovative can you get?
There's never enough stuff to have. Like we like our accoutrement. Like there's cutters and pokers and stands and all that stuff, and I never get tired of getting it.
You know what else? You know what else I would like to see is your case right there, right? You can fit a cutter on there. Mm-hmm. You can fit 2 cigars in there. 3 cigars. Mm-hmm. Can't put a lighter.
I know.
Like everyone I've seen, I go. Yes. I want to be able to put everything in one.
Unless you have those unless you take it out and you have 2 cigars and you have one of those circular lighters.
Right, but you can't sometimes it doesn't
like
fit.
it rubbing up against my stick, So
like if you just have a spot, because sometimes when you're going out, like I only want to bring like 2 sticks. If I'm going to a wedding, I don't want to bring a whole box. I want to bring 2 sticks, and then I have to bring like a cutter and a lighter, but I have to put the cutter and lighter in this pocket. And you have something like that.
So imagine that struggle and being a woman, because most of our
you don't
clothing
have,
don't have pockets.
You got to put it up here. You got to put it in the
or it has to fit in a little clutch bag. The struggle is severe.
Yeah, we don't know much about that struggle. We don't got that problem.
Well, that's why I'm here to share with you.
Yeah, but the women have the extra pockets. So you have 2 extra pockets.
Yeah, they definitely do.
My best friend's mom always jokes about that because she always keeps shit up. Like whenever she'd lose something, Mike, did you check your bra? She's like, oh yeah, there it is. Oh, I got it. There it is. Like she puts her phone in there and shit.
I think
like,
it's hilarious.
I think it's hilarious. But I always joke like, did you check your bra? She's like, you know what? I didn't check it, but okay, it's not there. All right, I'm just making sure, because
storage space is real.
Funny, but
we run out a lot of space. So,
but there's things like that, that you don't. And then there's other accessories too that I'm like,
I give away a lot of my stuff. I don't have room for all the stuff that I give, and I like to give them to like
this is what I started doing. So, when I need something done, I hire someone or I have someone come into the house. So I'll give away, like the packs that have already the little humidity thing in it, so it's humidity control.
Yeah,
I'll throw a couple of sticks in there and like a cheap cutter. Like I buy a bag of cutters. They're like 10 for $3 or whatever the hell it is. So I throw a cutter, a couple of sticks, and the tip. There you go. Thanks.
Genius.
So, right?
I mean, and I've done that too as well. It's if I have accessories or cigars, or like I've had one of my buddies who was getting into cigars. I won a big old humidor at an event once, and I was like, I don't need this anymore. I just gave it to him, and I would give ashtrays away, extra cigar cutters and lighters, because
you get a lot of stuff.
You get a lot of shit, and I'm like,
I remember when you had Cigar Fest, you used to get so much shit.
Oh yeah,
give away stuff all the time. Yeah.
So
were you doing giveaways? I'd put a giveaway on Instagram because.
That was before
do you remember that?
Reels.
Yeah, you remember the giveaways?
Mm.
That was how you got followers. You did giveaways.
Yeah.
Follow us and tag 3 friends, and then.
I remember I did a Super Bowl giveaway once, where I would do it. And you had to like share it to enter, and then if you shared, I said tag me, and then when they would tag me, I would DM them and say, okay, pick a box, give me a number, and I would make a Super Bowl box. And then I would send the numbers out, and then whoever won, I would give them like first, second, third.
Yeah, when we were like low on the follower account, or it was slow, I'm like, let's do a giveaway, and we just
giveaways were fun. Yeah,
they were fun. They were fun. But that was like how you gained followers before videos and reels.
But you know what? I do see that there are some accessories that have come out that I kind of find pointless. I'm not going to name, but
what kind of it? What's the concept?
There are some that.
But there was
don't
one.
Make sense.
There was one that I was like,
you don't have to name the brand, but
I'm not gonna name the brand.
But what's the concept?
But
if you give the concept, is it gonna give it away? I think it will. If
I kind of feel like it.
I kind of think we're thinking of the same thing.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I will.
I bet we are.
I don't want to. All right, I'll say it. I'll say it where it's. It was a device that you could test the humidity of the cigar, and I was like,
yeah, okay.
I don't need to test the humidity.
You don't know this one?
No.
So it
wasn't what I was thinking.
Okay, so then you.
What were you thinking?
I'm just gonna say. I'm not gonna say the company, but it was a device that you could stick it in your cigar and it would tell you the humidity of your cigar. And I'm like, I don't need that because the humidity. I know the humidity of my cigar because I have a humidor. And my humidor is set to 68, so I know that
you have to carry it around. It's not thin. It's like
it was kind of like it's kind of pointless. It's like
it's a cool concept.
It's cool in theory, but I'm like, am I ever really going to use this? Like, am I going to take my cigar out and then before I smoke it, stick it in there and I'm not
never once. I don't think anyone, and I'm sure I don't think. Is my cigar that I'm about to smoke humidified properly?
No.
Right.
So what was the one that you were thinking of? Is it going to give away the?
Can you give it any details without giving it away?
No.
Damn it!
I will talk about it all.
This is an offline conversation.
Fair enough.
Because I don't know. I think the's been multiple that have come out.
There's been a lot of
the humidity
wacky
testers.
things.
What else? Yeah, I mean, oh god.
So I bought. I don't know who put it out, so I don't know, but it's a clip that has a cigar rest for you to put like on your whiskey glass, and I'm like, oh, what a great thing. It's the stupidest shit I've ever seen. I don't ever use it. It was so dumb.
See, I've seen the companies that have like the prongs and they put it in the cigar without cutting it, and I'm like, is that really?
Have you ever seen
really
the?
That doesn't seem.
I've never tried this, but there's a ball cut or a bowl cut. It not a punch, but it like scoops out like an ice cream scoop.
No, I don't know.
Have you ever seen those?
No.
Yeah, I've seen. I'm like, I'm kind of curious, because.
But do you know what the thing I'm talking about? It's like 3 spikes, and you. Do you ever use that?
I have used one. I like
What's the use of that? What's the point? What is the use of that, or the point of those? I don't know.
So,
those. Right.
What? I don't know if I was using it the way it was intended to be. I didn't enjoy puncturing my stick with it and smoking it that way. However, you know how we were talking about sticks that sometimes the draw isn't like flowing well.
Okay.
I've done that, and then it allowed extra air, and then I've enjoyed
fair
my
enough.
stick
There
after
you
that.
go.
That's fair. I would see people use it instead of cutting the cigar, they use it as the way of drawing the cigar, and I'm like, that doesn't really seem like, it's just holes in your cigar. It doesn't seem fun to me, or not fun, enjoyable.
All right,
but,
so it doesn't.
To each his own.
It doesn't show you like what the. I want to see what the actual. But this is the thing. It says it's a hybrid between a V cutter and a punch cutter, and it's like scoops out a ball. And I want to see what it looks like when you.
I feel that it would
here
leave
it is.
bits of tobacco
Like this.
on my mouth.
So it like scoops out like a ball.
I've never seen that before.
And I was like,
I don't know if I would like that.
I mean, it's kind of weird. I'm like, is that?
I'm a traditional. Just give me a straight cutter.
Yeah, but things like that. I'm like, okay, it's unique, but does it really? Like for the extra money, because it looked like it was $150, and I'm like,
but somebody will buy it because cigar smokers, we like our stuff.
yeah, that's why somebody will buy a $1,000 lighter. Like, do you really need it when you can just use a couple of?
I think these items are cool, but like those cigar knives.
No, those don't work. Those don't. I use it as a knife. I don't use it as
the actual knife is cool. I use it
you know
for
those
other things.
You know the cigar knives?
I have one.
I don't think it works.
and it's in my
It's
my
annoying
nightstand.
to cut with.
It worked the first couple of times. And then I know, like, the theory is you're supposed to keep it sharp, but it just
crushes
it.
I just use it as I use it as
And
open
I
my
don't
boxes.
I don't like little tobacco flecks on my lips when I'm having a stick.
Yeah.
So anything
you want
that's
Scooby
gonna
snacks.
leave
You
like
don't want Scooby snacks.
But also, I feel like a lot you have to use 2 hands.
It's
Straight
weird.
cutter.
Yes.
It's weird.
Yes.
I always feel like I'm gonna cut my finger off with it.
Yeah.
I keep it on my mail cabinet to open boxes.
I've cut my finger twice.
Yeah.
Blood dripping because it's very sharp. I mean, it's a good
Yeah.
knife. It's designed properly, but to make it
it's a
cigar
perfect
cutter,
compact like hunting knife. There.
Yeah, it's a great knife, just not for cigar cutting. So that's one tool. I'm like,
How did we get on this conversation?
Cigar cutters
we're
and
talking about
accessories.
accessories and stuff. How a lot of the
I
same
just love
stuff.
how like we've never talked about this on the show ever.
No,
I don't think we've ever talked about this extensively with different accessories, the goods and the bads.
No, this is definitely more a cigar-driven conversation today.
I think it's cool though, because like, who would have thought you could have a talk for 30 minutes about accessories?
30 minutes?
Well, we started an hour, and we're in an hour and 37.
Oh! I mean, we're only going.
So
I'm like, there's no way we're going for 30 minutes,
but
bro.
that's cool. But anyway, okay, so you're thinking about potentially bringing in some of the big brands, but right now it's only boutique.
Correct.
Now, what besides us? What are some of the brands that you're working with?
Sticks and Stones is on there.
Okay.
Noble.
Sticks and Stones. We had
Wanda.
We had Wanda.
Shout
on
out
the
to
show.
Liz
Yeah.
and John from Noble.
Yes.
So what else?
Liz
So
and
you had
John.
you have him on
We
there.
have SPs are on there as
Okay.
well. We have Casa de Sueño.
Oh, nice. You do have those
yeah.
guys. Okay.
Horrible. I'm trying to remember everyone right now.
It's a lot. I noticed you had like 6 pages of
Yeah,
stuff.
there's a
And we're on the
lot
last
on
page,
there.
by the way.
What?
Alphabetical
Damn.
order.
Oh,
The T in the Burn Down podcast puts us at the end.
Oh, damn. We
Yeah.
gotta change that. We just gotta put blue.
No, it's somebody's got to be.
Someone's gonna be on the last page.
It's alphabetical order, man. It's alphabetical order, man. What are you gonna do?
There's a lot.
Just like Zeno Davidoff is always gonna be the last page, dude. Although Zeno's got some good cigars. There's Z Crown that they had, and they have the
Zeno Platinum.
Zeno Platinum.
It's a girthy.
Is it?
Have you ever had those or no?
Mm-mm.
Some good sticks.
Oh,
man.
yeah, Zeno,
some
for
good
sure.
sticks. A little expensive, but they're good. They're good sticks. They come in that tube.
We have
Yeah.
our own house blends on the. Have you tried it?
Did you bring any?
I didn't bring any.
Damn it. That's a
Hey.
rookie mistake right
It
there.
really is.
She brought blueprints. She
She
gets
did.
a pass. All right.
I brought my own sticks
She
to
brought
smoke, though.
homemade coffee.
And I was gonna say, I didn't even think. Who thinks of bringing cigars to
Technically,
cigar guys?
Technically, you
like
did.
who does that?
Wait, technically, you did bring a house blend.
Well,
What a homemade
touché.
cupcake.
Coffee cake house blend.
Coffee cake. Yeah. So technically, she
Is
brought
baking a passion of yours?
Cooking is in
Cooking.
general. Cooking, baking, All of it.
Okay, yeah. Let's go back to the cookie stuff. What's some of your favorite stuff to cook?
So.
Like, what's a
dish? Puerto Rican dish?
Like,
that's
okay,
a staple.
we're coming. Okay, ready?
Pernil arroz con gandules is staple.
All right, so so
what the heck is that?
Because I always ask.
So roast pork.
We're
Pernil
coming to
is
your
the
house,
roast pork.
right? We're coming to your house. What are you making?
So.
We just asked like a million questions.
Well, I wanted to ask.
Let's back it up.
I want to ask, like, what's your favorite thing to cook? And I say, okay, you're inviting somebody over to dinner.
My favorite thing to cook is whatever the favorite meal of the person that is coming over. So I love in food. So if I know your favorite meal is chicken parm, then chicken parm is going to be on the table.
Okay. Well,
you know
what's
what I mean?
your favorite meal? Like your electric chair meal.
To eat?
Yes, your electric chair meal. I have mine. Just had it the other day. It was freaking delicious. My wife makes like a short rib over mashed potatoes.
I was thinking oxtail.
Oh.
I was thinking oxtail.
Okay.
Oxtail and rice and peas, I think, is my electric chair meal.
Damn.
Rice and peas.
Now, what was this Puerto Rican dish that you just...
Roast pork.
What's the name of it? What's the name of the dish?
Pernil.
Pernil?
Is the roast pork.
Okay.
Arroz con gandules is the yellow rice with pigeon peas.
Pernil, arroz con gandules?
Arroz con gandules.
Arroz
con gandules.
Con gandules.
There we go.
I only know
Pernil,
rice.
arroz con
gandules.
Gandules.
Yes.
What's gandules?
Pigeon peas.
And what is a pigeon pea?
So rice with pigeon peas.
They look like sweet peas, but it's, you know how sweet peas are like mushy?
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a bean texture, but they look like sweet peas.
So is it like pulled pork or no?
No.
Like
it's roasted.
Roasted pork.
Yeah.
That's a Puerto Rican
slow
staple?
roasted. It's like shoulder or butt. And
That's
it's
a
slow roasted.
Puerto Rican staple?
It is a Puerto Rican staple.
I do like rice and peas. You know what's interesting?
I don't like rice. I don't know.
You don't like rice and peas?
I don't like peas.
Here's
They're not actually peas. They're beans.
They're beans.
But it's called rice and peas.
So that's okay. So that's funny though, because I was gonna bring it up when I was in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
The rice and peas is
They're
a big
red
thing.
beans.
And you order, I'm like, rice and peas. I'm like, you know what? Rice peas sounds really good. And they come out and they're beans. I'm like, are these? I thought I ordered rice and peas. Those are peas. They call red beans peas.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
So again, Puerto Rico is the same thing. They call red beans peas. It was still delicious, but I was like, I thought it was rice and peas. I go, no, that's peas. Red is what we call peas. I was like, oh, okay. And it's freaking delicious. Damn. But
no. I mean, I guess if it's more beans,
it is beans.
I mean,
it is beans. It's red beans, but they call them peas.
I do like peas mixed in with things. Like one of my favorite things is pasta, but it's garlic and oil, and my wife puts zucchini and peas in there.
Oh, pasta, butter, a little butter, oil, cheese, a little grated cheese on top.
No butter, just garlic and oil.
You don't do butter and cheese, bro?
That's
I'm not 14.
That's my kid's favorite thing.
Oh.
Whenever they don't like, what do you want? I don't know.
No, that's what I used to use as a kid.
Spaghetti, butter, and cheese.
Dude, I used to eat that
Go-to.
all the time.
Or pastina.
As a kid, yeah, pastina.
Spaghetti, butter, and cheese, and then you get on the bottom, you get that nice scoop of the butter with the cheese. There's no pasta anymore.
You got to upgrade to the garlic and oil.
Of course, when you're in a restaurant, you get kind of garlic and oil with the grated
home,
cheese.
Home.
But butter and dude, I actually made it the other day. I hadn't had it in years because I used to when you're broke college kids.
I don't
pasta,
know. I don't
get a box of pasta for 4 cents.
That's one of my kids' favorite meal. That and cutlets.
Oh,
They'll have
who doesn't like
some
chicken
pasta,
cutlets?
butter and cheese, and cutlets, and
you love because it's so easy to make.
I love
you know what?
chicken cutlets.
All right,
nice little thin, crispy cutlet.
I got something for you.
Oh God!
You get a nice, crispy chicken cutlet. Put honey on the top of it. You ever do honey on chicken cutlets, bro? It's gonna rock your world.
I could see that with hot honey.
Yeah, you could do hot
like
honey
with
too.
Mike's,
you could do hot honey, but I just do like you gotta have good honey though. You can't just get don't get like the bear honey. Get good like local
I'm sure it
honey.
Tastes good, but I don't know.
Dude, I'm telling you, just try because it's kind of like a honey mustard.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't try it, but
Dude.
I can't see myself putting honey on just for the thrill of it.
Yeah, it's good.
If you like gave me like, yo, try this, I'd be like, all right.
Yeah, but you also didn't like honey on grapes, and I gave you that one, and you were like, whoa, game changer.
First, it was blueberries.
Well, honey, blueberries, yeah.
And I didn't say I wouldn't like it. You just said try it, and I said, okay, it sounds good.
Yeah, now it's a snack of yours, right?
Yeah.
You just text me the other day, you're like, yo,
but
this
that
is
enticed
great.
me. Chicken cutlets and honey doesn't entice me.
Bro.
Honey and blueberries.
Yes.
Yeah, you get
Well,
like
I
berries,
guess.
get berries and drizzle some honey on top. Great snack. And
My
it's
wife
really
was
good
like,
for
"This
you.
isn't healthy for you." I said, "Oh yeah,
It is.
Let me pull it up." She's like, "You have to show." I'm like, "Yeah, it is."
What's not healthy for you? Honey is like the best, like some of the best. But again, it's got to be local, like organic honey. It can't be just like the
Farmer's market honey.
You got to get the and actually a side note with honey is Eric's eyes.
It never goes bad.
Eric just gave me the dirtiest.
No, I just got something in my eye.
I was just like, I went like this. I said, side note. Eric's like,
no.
that's literally what Eric just did.
I mean, yeah, I'm doing a metaphor. No, but I really had something in my eye.
But
That's
the side
hilarious.
note is, if you have allergies,
Oh yes.
you get local honey
Yes.
because but it has to be local. Like you can't get.
You can buy bee pollen too. You can buy bee
Yeah.
pollen and take bee pollen to
Yeah.
kind of curb your allergies.
But if you
That's
get them
mom speaking
because
right
the
there.
bees
That's a mom
pollinate
fact.
from the local flowers that are giving you the allergies, and they put it into the honey, so that honey will, if you eat the honey, you'll actually build up immunity. But it has to be the local honey. It's not going to do you good if you get honey from California that's local for your allergies here in New York.
Yeah.
But side note, honey.
Sidebar.
Honey is really good for you, actually. And I think honey is one of the only things that is non-perishable.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think your brain, bro.
I love it because
Thank you.
I have.
Thank you.
You're with him. You're not with him all the time.
Don't entice
You're
him.
not with him all the time.
Because that's what goes on in here.
Dude.
Yeah, I think a thought comes in his brain, right? He has the thought, and then it spurts into this way, and then that thought from that one spurts over this way, and then he continues over this with this thought, and it's just like an ongoing thing. Oh yeah. By the way,
Can you tie them together? You can chase the chain back to the input.
We were originally talking about, chicken cutlets, and you were making pasta, butter, and cheese, and then I said honey on top of the chicken cutlets, and then I said honey is, you get the allergies, and then it's non-perishable. Yeah, dude.
No, he does.
It all
He
connects.
does usually bring it back and remember how we started here, but yeah, it's good and
But
all.
he takes you along for the journey.
It's good and all because the conversation goes.
That's what
You're
it's
with
about,
him,
man.
You're here with him,
This is
not
what
so
it's
often.
about. This is what the podcast is about.
Yeah, it is about me busting your balls.
I
About
love it.
So
Listen, this is what it is. So, okay, have you ever thought about? All right, so we went on the cigar, avenue. Went down that road. We started talking about food and stuff. You said you had a food Instagram, and you love to cook.
I do.
Are you doing anything with the food? Like, you thinking about maybe going down that avenue?
So there were times that I already said I separated from my ex-husband in 2013, right? So I was a stay-at-home mom, and I'm trying to branch out, and I had mommy guilt for leaving the kids, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get back into work and things like that. So there was a time that I was catering. I was making meals and cakes and pastry baskets and all of the things, right? So I could have a little extra money, because as I was just getting my feet wet, getting back into the world of working, everything didn't come across. So I wanted to have cigars, and I wanted to have a good bottle of wine, because I don't drink cheap shit. You know what I mean? So
bougie brother, bougie sister, bougie brother and sister in the building.
See, that's that kinship, right? So
Listen, you want to start going down the wine thing?
Oh God, please no.
I'll go for another half hour. Okay?
Justin's been to Italy. He loves Italian wine.
Yes.
See?
Yes.
I prefer French.
French is good too, though.
Yeah.
I'm getting into French. My buddy's got a
French
French
wine is
restaurant in
really good.
Manhattan.
French wine is really
French
good.
is dirty though. French can be dirty though.
Justin is dirty today.
French, you know what I'm talking about. French can be musty, like a dirty ass old attic.
Their rosé is heavenly.
It's good. It's good. French is good stuff.
Someone gave me Italian, or suggested, I should say. They suggested that I try this particular Italian rosé. Italians don't make rosé. It was
just go with a nice
trash.
Chianti or Brunello.
It was trash.
Yeah.
What was it?
It was trash.
No, what you said before that?
Fucking trash.
It's fucking
FT
trash.
baby, FT. Okay, so you're doing some catering stuff.
I was doing some catering
nice
stuff.
bottles of wine.
So then I just fell back into my career, but it's a passion. It's something that I love doing. I don't think I would ever do it.
That's where it stays.
Yeah, that's where it stays. It's like I said before, I love in food. So every time someone comes over, or I go somewhere, or any of the things, I cook.
You
I
love
just cook
in
everything.
food. All right.
So love
Food
language.
is your love language.
It really is.
Okay, I get what you're saying now. I had to process when you first said that. I was okay, that makes sense. But yeah, Puerto Ricans,
Cook.
they have a huge,
cook.
extensive, background in cooking food, and food is just like Italian. It's just
And to
the
go
centerpiece
back,
of everything.
to go back to when I was growing up, right? You asked how I was as a teenager. So I was the one that was cooking for my siblings and I, and It was so bad in the beginning. It was so bad. We would sit around the table and all be fucking miserable that we had to eat the shit that was in front of us that I cooked. I knew it was bad. And we'd look at each other. We're like, oh.
And you're like, listen, it's either that or you fucking starve. Okay.
And it was like, I'm
this
so
is fucking
sorry.
trash.
Yeah. So just eat
Like,
it.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But then,
You don't like it? Cook yourself something next time.
No, I didn't even want to eat. It was so bad. I started.
What was it? What was it?
The first thing that I made that was horrible was chicken stew. It was
Chicken stew?
chicken stew.
Don't you
Chicken
know-
stew is a traditional Puerto Rican dish.
Never
So-
had chicken soup.
No, chicken stew. It's
I heard of beef stew.
chicken stew. It's delicious when made properly. My first go at it was not
You
a
just
good
throw
time.
shit in the pot and boil it and see what happens?
It was, I don't know what I did. It was not the right thing. But we sat there, my siblings and I, the four of us sat at the table, miserable, just scooping it in and like, oh, dude, do we have to fucking eat this shit? It was so bad. But again, my compulsion to read, I would go and get like 10, 12 cookbooks from the library at a time, which was like the max. That was the max amount of books you can get at a time. I would get the max of cookbooks, and I would read freaking cookbooks like I was reading a novel, literally cover to cover. And I did that for years, and then kind of improved, well, definitely improved my cooking skills.
Have you tried
And-
making the chicken stew since?
Yeah, now it's
Now it's-
aces.
now it's
Now it's
perfecto.
aces. Now it's aces.
Well, I mean, you got to start somewhere, right? You're not going to come out the kitchen whipping it up like,
Yeah.
Master Chef.
Yeah, so-
Well, no, I asked because, like, you can... Like, so my father-in-law, does not eat chicken. Does not eat chicken.
Really?
Because growing up, all his mother made was chicken. And it was, like, boiled chicken feet. And because they didn't have a lot of money, so it was this is what you eat, and it was like chicken feet and chicken this and chicken, and it was all he ate all day long was chicken. So now when he's
I get
older,
that.
he's like, I don't want to fucking eat chicken anymore. Like I just don't eat it because it's all I ate growing up, and now I hate it. Right? So that's why I asked him, like, you make the chicken stew, and it's like if you're forced to eat this and it's crap, you're like, now later on you're like, I don't want to fucking even see chicken stew anymore. That's why I asked, do you make it now? And now
Yeah,
it's,
I do now.
Yeah, because you could be like mortified from eating the same thing over and over. Like, I don't want to fucking eat this. I don't touch this anymore.
No.
That's like me with Subway. College, they had a Subway, and I would just eat Subway every day for lunch. Now I pass a Subway. I'm
You're
like,
like, yeah,
Mm.
it's all you ate. Yeah, you're like, I can't eat it.
I can't look at it.
But actually now, so my wife had made him like fried chicken, like homemade fried like buffalo chicken, and he loved it. He was like, this is fucking delicious, right? Because he hadn't had it in so long. He was like, it's like, Dad, eat this, just try this, and he loved it. He's like, it's not the chicken feet, the boiled chicken feet you had as a kid, okay?
It's good shit.
Tried it. But yeah, like, when you eat something all day long as a kid, you're like, I'm sick of this. I can't eat this anymore. Chicken stew.
Chicken stew. Next time I'll make you some.
Chicken stew. Next
That'll
time
be
she's
the
gonna
next
bring
thing.
a pot of chicken stew. I'm like, is this the is this
the
new
real
and
recipe?
The new and improved, or is this the old school?
The original Queen's recipe.
Is this gonna
Nobody wants that.
is this gonna be dog food or human food? Which one am I gonna use this as?
But it made you stronger. It give you character.
Yeah.
Made you are today.
Character.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on, give yourself some
Yeah.
credit.
Some oomph.
Yeah, some little oomph.
Anyway.
And it's
Dude, we're coming up on 2 hours.
Has it been all right? Damn,
2 hours.
2 hours with Maduro Meli.
Love it, man.
Thanks.
Well,
So here's
we'll give you the red carpet here.
give
at
it a
the
reg.
end.
Roll it out, baby.
Yeah.
Roll it out.
So at the end of our podcast, we like to give our guests red carpet. Tell the people watching, listening, where they can find you, what's going on in the next couple of weeks, any events, anything that you want to plug away. The floor is yours, shamelessly.
Oh boy. So you can find me on Instagram, Maduro_Meli.
So she's a Maduro.
Well, that's what
For
it
you,
is.
for you English people, Maduro.
For all you, what do you call them? Americans.
Yeah.
No, what
Excuse me, I'm American, sir.
No, what did I say? God. Not gringo. Oh, fuck. It's not coming to me now. Anyway, I digress.
Anyway,
I'm not interrupting you.
Remind me. I don't want to interrupt your plug, but remind me to show you a video. It's either my sister or I think my sister showed it to us, but it's this woman who I think she speaks like fluent Spanish, but she's speaking Spanish. Do you speak Spanish?
Mm-hmm.
She's speaking Spanish but with like the thickest American accent ever.
My daughter and I do that all day.
And it's freaking hysterical.
What about Alec Baldwin's wife? Is she? Have you heard about this? It's like apparently she speaks Spanish or tries to speak Spanish, but she's not Spanish.
Didn't she? Her family's grew up in Mexico or something like that.
It's I don't know what the truth is, but people are saying like she like tries to put on like this act that she's Spanish, and then in the public like she tries to sound it, and then she sounds another way and another like.
Gotcha.
It's really bizarre. It's kind of like
I gotta show you.
It's kind of cringy.
It's hysterical though, because it's like this is how it's like when you think you're speaking Spanish, but you're not really. It's like this is how you sound to us Spanish people. And it's just so American. All the words. She's saying the right words and she's saying the right sentences.
Yeah.
But it's so bad. It's hilarious, dude. I gotta show it to you afterwards. Anyway, plug away for your
Maduro Meli.
Maduro Meli on Instagram, of course. You can get your cigars at getyourcigars.com. You can get these guys sticks there as well.
Check it out.
That's it. That's all I've got.
Any like events?
Well, event season is upon us. We haven't made our calendar yet of which brands we're going to do events with, but
us maybe, possibly, perhaps.
I would like to. I don't think I've done one with you guys yet.
You haven't,
right?
Definitely
That's what I'm saying. Let's get on the calendar.
Let's do it.
Let's do a cigar event.
PCA is coming up in a couple weeks.
We've been asked. We're going to that. Unfortunately, we're not.
We have not this year. I said Justin, we got to go to a trade show. That's where the growth happens.
Well, we have little ones under a year, so
Yeah,
we kind of can't really do that
hard.
this year. But so
Big
event
Smoke.
calendar.
Big Smoke would be a good one.
That's in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one to go to.
Have you been to these before?
PCA, yeah.
But why is PCA in Louisiana? I feel like that's not
It
exciting.
used to be in Vegas.
Yeah,
It was
I
in
know.
Vegas last year.
How
No.
much does it cost for a booth? Do you know? Is it like $10,000 or something like that?
It's by square feet.
Yeah, it's an
So
expensive
it starts.
shit. Yeah.
It's pricey.
Anyway, we'll talk about that after.
Melanie, getyourcigars.com. Maduro Meli on Instagram.
Maduro.
Meli. How you doing? So thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me,
Thank
fellas.
you for being, of course. Thank you for being our guest here today. Check her out. Check us out. Blueprint Cigars, Diligent Cigars, getyourcigars.com.
Billy and Dilly.
Billy and Dilly. You know you like that nickname. And
I
as
love
Justin
it.
has
It's
on his
adorable.
t-shirt, we'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching and listening. Cheers, chin chin, and salud.